Let's go. What's going on? What's going on? We on Behind the Boards, episode 9, and I got my brother 9 right next to me in here. My brother Doc Spliph, my partner Rocko Leon, Rocko Ill my brother Chichan, my brother Breezy Brewin is in the building. Juggernauts is in the building. You know what I'm saying? My brother Ill Eyez is in the building. Of course, my brother Mr. Complex is in the building. You know what I'm saying? We is here. You know what I mean? And we was already talking, you know what I mean? I should have been recording, but, you know, I know brothers is on their phones and phones die after a certain amount of time. I know how that be, but, yeah, man. So what's going on, everybody? We here. What's going on?
Good. What's good?
Kind of hard to start a conversation that's been going on.
You guys all missed the good shit, but I didn't know we were supposed to say what was happening. You know what I'm saying?
That's the part of journalism. You got to catch all of that.
It's
yeah,
like,
I stopped recording as soon as I put it in there. Yeah, you're right. And
it's like when you turn Maury on, that shit been on for 35 minutes, you just lost. You're like,
yeah, you're like, you missed. Yeah, like that first episode we did. Actually, the first episode that we did, Zoom period, was with 9. It was only 9 with all of the corner producers, and we didn't record that shit. It was just the first time we ever was on Zoom. And I was like, you should have recorded that shit. I was like, I didn't know if you would have wanted me to. He's like, I don't give a fuck. Because 9 says what he wants, it says what he says, and he don't give a fuck what people hear.
I can fight.
Yeah.
You can't fight, you gotta watch your tongue. I can fight. What the fuck I want.
Well, before I even start, I gotta shout out my brother Breeze Brewin right now. I gotta shout out right now to his face right now. Thank you, Breeze, for introducing me to 9, because you introduced me to a good friend.
Come on now.
That's my friend. No, I remember we was going to 7-Eleven. And you kept saying 9. I thought you were saying 9, like not. You didn't hear that, you know how you say it in New York, 9. I'm like, yeah, 9. Yeah, 9. Yeah, you got my man 9's coming through. And then when you introduced me to him, I was like, 9. I'm like 9. And I just
you still ain't say nothing. I was sitting on the couch. I was playing 2K with Kev. He was like, yo, I got this interview niggas coming, but yo, we gotta get out. Matt, like, you remember Breeze, me and your brother.
Yeah.
We used to go at it on 2K at least 3 times a week, and every Friday was the championship.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
No, but Breeze, thank you, man. Thank you. You introduced me to a good
man.
friend. He's my good friend now. You know what I mean? We became good friends.
Nah, man.
Best brothers in the game, man.
Cut it out. I really don't like you. I really don't.
It was crazy because it was all about the Subterranean movie, and we have all that footage too. And Mr. Complex was on it. We went in the basement with Spinner's crib, and you know what I mean. We still have all that footage. And we're trying to figure out what we're gonna do with it. You know what I mean. So I'm posting clips of it. You might see me tagging y'all of it to get these guys to actually make the movie still, because we got everybody on that shit. And 9 said he doesn't want me to use none of his footage, but
I look crazy.
Yo, we all look crazy.
No, I was like 25 pounds lighter. I look crazy, nigga. You ain't using that shit.
No, but it was a dope time. That was one of the best times of my life and shit, meeting all y'all and going through all that shit.
Oh,
yeah, man. But I'm a hip hop head like y'all. You know what I mean?
Give it up for stress, man.
Nah, ain't nothing about that shit. Fuck that.
I'm just playing with you, bro. I'm just playing with you.
That's what they say, giving people their flowers. You heard? You know what I mean?
Nah, that's real, man. Stress always been real. You know, I be trying to coach Stress through a lot of stuff, man. Y'all don't need to call me. We talk about a lot of different shit, not just hip hop, man. I really got love for the brother, man. He's one of the most genuine people. One of the most genuine people that I've ever met. Like, he's the same person he always was. He don't front on you. He ain't no lies in him. Ain't no bullshit. He's apologetic even when it ain't his fault. If he tell you to come somewhere and shit don't go right or somebody else fuck up, he don't want to apologize for it and shit. Like, you know what I mean? He's a real good person, man.
Yeah, man. Shout out to Kev too, man. Shout out to your brother Kev.
Word up.
Man. Salute to Kev.
Bro, that's one of my that's my favorite nigga and one of my favorite niggas in the world. You fuck with Kev, man, I'm gonna do you something terrible. He's another dude who's like Breeze, your brother. You know you too, but you know how your brother is, man. He ain't got a bad word to say about nobody, even
he's good people's, man.
He just be like, oh, well, I never seen him mad, dog. I've never seen this nigga mad.
The coolest, man.
27 years I've known him, I've never seen this nigga mad.
Yo, Breeze, who's older?
Cap. Slim the oldest. About 2 years. And
Who's
Queen Heroine's the youngest.
Okay, so you two brothers and then your sister. Okay, it's just 3 y'all, right?
We got an older brother in Jamaica.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And the tribe of
Older.
kids. What's up with your boys, man? What's up with your son, Breeze?
He chilling. You know, he's still doing the music. You know, just trying to keep his head right with what shit is. Just like the rest of us.
He's still doing it. That's what's up, man.
Yo, Complex, you got the same number, or am I texting a different person when I'm texting you and shit?
Say again, what?
Did you get my texts like recently, or did you change your number and shit? I'm just asking you that. I just need to just know and shit, because I hate texting people and it's not their number no more and shit. Like, yo.
Yeah, I got a new number.
All right. So Nine, what's going on with now? You got you on top. What's going on with you now, man? I know you got a whole bunch of things going on. I know you got a project coming or something right now. What's going on?
Yeah, I got the song Presidents out on Spotify and all that shit. And I'm getting ready to drop this Oops Volume 3, this mixtape. Oops stand for over other people's shit. I'm using niggas' songs like this shit is mine. I'm just taking the beat and I'm acting like I never even heard the nigga on it. I ain't using his flow or nothing. Content's totally different. But I'm tired of shopping for beats. I'm gonna make you niggas scared to put instrumentals out. I'm gonna just use your shit. It's already mastered. All I gotta do is throw my vocal on it and master it. Boom. Nah, but it's a really tough, it's a really strong project, and it's like, you know, I've grown a lot. Like, it's not about none of this shit I've ever spoke about. It's about what's going on right now, but from a real grown man perspective. I'm not with the silly shit, so I'm talking to everybody that I feel need to hear what I have to say. As far as not even as a rapper, I'm not even looking at it from that perspective anymore. It's like we all got a voice, and I think the most skilled of us, like Mr. Complex dudes, like people that have the most skills, I think we have the most responsibility to actually try to correct some of this fuck shit going on, and we can't do it being gentle. We got to be real harsh and real direct and have our facts together, and we need to give it to them on a plate that they can understand it on, that they can hear it on, and hear why I'm using these industry beats, because the beat already proved itself. All you have to do is not fuck it up.
That's real shit.
Yep.
Breeze, what's going on with you today, man? What's going on, brother?
You know, just like we were saying before, man, just happy to get the school year over with. So summer's my part-time job become my full-time job. Do some more of this music.
Somebody's playing off of 2 different devices.
Yeah.
Yo, Complex, you want me remove the other thing that's on here? Or you trying to use both?
I'm trying to remove it. Trying to shut it down.
I'll remove it. I didn't know if you wanted me to. I'll remove it right now. I'll remove it.
It just pops up out of nowhere like a ghost.
Ghost cell phone pass.
Yeah, man. But just finishing up. I got a project that's about to drop. Happy about that. But it's like I said, it's older music, but it's new to y'all.
Nah, Breeze, you sitting on a lot. Y'all niggas be sitting on it. Oh my God.
Nah,
I got like 30 records with your brother that we've never put out before.
Damn.
It's time, you know. Just gotta get it out there, and I agree with what Nan's saying. You know what I mean? It's cats who've been in the game, and you know, I mean, I'm a teacher now, 17 years, so it's like that's pretty solidified. That ain't going nowhere. But as far as we got that responsibility, you know, we got a talent. There's a lot of shit that need talking about, and I'm trying to talk about it, especially with the new shit. I got like new shit past that project that I was telling y'all, so just got to keep going. You know what I mean?
What's up?
Yo, Complex, man, what's going on with you? I see you doing the video, Johns. What's going on?
Yeah, I've been directing, you know, videos. Probably the last video I did was Farrell with Little Fame, 24 hours.
That was all video.
All right.
That was all video.
And I finished just a little while ago shooting my movie, full-length feature. It's called Revenge of the Sound Man. So now it's a big editing job, but it took a lot to get a whole movie made. It's hip-hop related.
Nice.
Got a few cats in it.
I gotta hit you up about this movie footage and shit. Cause you know, I have all this shit sitting there. I know you nice with that shit. I need to hit you up about this shit for real. Yeah, man, some real shit. Yo, Breeze, let me talk about that Prince Among Thieves joint, because everybody keep telling me about it with you and Prince Paul. And I didn't realize your name was Paul too and shit till earlier and shit like that.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm another Paul. Yeah, man, it was just a blessing, man. Like it's funny how the game act. You know, when we had to deal with Elektra, they was like, "What 3 producers would you want? You know, to remix or your dream producers?" So we said Pete Lodge and Prince Paul. So I believe they had sent out like even like rough unmixed versions of joints just to them dudes to, you know, see if they were interested with, you know, working with us. And then maybe 4 months later we had been dropped. That's when Elektra did the switch up, and you know, they dropped KMD, they dropped Brand Nubian. They really focused with the whole Missy Timberland vibe, you know, just changing up their goals as a label. So we was dropped. I was working at Children's Village at a group home upstate, or Westchester. And I came home doing a night shift. I was working like the 10 to 6:30 shift. Came home, about to collapse, and my kid's mom at the time was like, "Yo, Prince Paul called." I was like, "All right," and I went to sleep. And then I got up, and I was like, was I dreaming, or do you say Prince Paul called? And she's like, "Nah, Prince Paul called." And then she gave me the number. I hit him up, and he had the whole shit already like sketched out. He had got the number from calling Fat Beats. He had just called and was like, "Yo, what's good with that kid Breeze?" Eclipse answered the phone. He had my number. Eclipse got everybody's number in New York. And you know, I called him. I went through. We had a meeting. He already had the script. He had like, "Yo, I want you to play this main character," because he had been playing that tape like the whole summer. He had been on tour, I think, with the Psychoanalysis record, and he was like, "Yo, I need this dude in my project." And I think he wanted Most initially. You'd have to ask him, but Most at that point had kind of taken off. So then he was like, "Yo, I'm gonna see if you could fill the slot." And I was like, "Well, you know, I'll try." And you know, he played me some of the beats, and I was like, "Yo, this shit's gonna be crazy." And all he did was tell me like, "I need the song to be about this," and he would play a little bit of you know, other people's dialogue, and then I would come in and do all the dialogue. So for each line, I maybe recorded this shit like 8 or 9 times, 10 times for each line. And it's so crazy because this is pre-Pro Tools. This was on ADATs, and he put that whole shit together with ADATs. And y'all hear how it is. It's seamless. All the voices go back and forth. It sounds like, you know, if you were listening to, I don't know, a book on tape or whatever, or, you know, whatever that type of medium. And he had the script done, and then I would go through. I would rock the joints. You know, for the most part, he was like, "Yo, that's cool." A couple of times he's like, "Yo, work on this," set me back, but we had good chemistry. Recorded that joint in his old crib in what was it, Amityville, and it was an honor, man. Like, you know, that's one of my heroes. It still is, and you know, just real hip hop, man. I have nothing but good things to say about that experience. I got to tour with him. Scott Free, he was with us on tour. My man, Mr. Len, Company Flow, he was on tour with us. You know, that's one of my mentors in the game. You know what I mean? And it just afforded me wild hip hop moments. I remember one night, it was me and Slim, it was me and Cav. We was driving home from something. It was like 3 o'clock in the morning. We was on the West Side Highway, and this kid is next to me, and he's banging the Prince Among Thieves shit. So we pull up next to him, like, "Yo, what you playing?" And he's like, "Yo, the Prince Among Thieves shit, man. It's Prince Paul shit." So I was like, "Yo, that shit's alright. I kind of like that shit." He was like, "Yeah." And we drove off, and I just felt mad hip hop. Like, you know what I mean? It fits me, and it's like, that's why we do it. You know, to hear
That's just a
somebody
classic.
driving by banging this shit.
Classic.
Yeah. So that was you know, that was a good look. I'm happy to be a part of that joint, man. To, you know, just look back and wow, good memories.
That's crazy. Nine, when you first did 9 Lives, you know what I'm saying? I mean, we gotta ask you this. When you first did 9 Lives, you did the joints on Nervous first. The 6
I
million.
just did one song. I just did
6
one
million ways
song.
to die. Yeah, 6 million ways to die, and then
That was Flex's record.
yeah.
What, you know, well, actually, Tragedy Gaddafi is on the original version with me.
Oh, okay.
Like, if you could, I think they even have it on YouTube still. But like, I just was at the studio and Flex was playing the beat. I just went up there to chill. And he was like, "Yo, you want to spit on? You got something for this?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'll rhyme on this." And then Tragedy was down the hall, and me and Tragedy was cool. We knew each other, so he jumped on the joint. And what happened was Flex played it for Nervous, and they wanted it. And they wanted to sign me and him and all of this. I was like, nah, I'm not trying to sign nothing. You know what I mean? Niggas gave me $500 for that whole record to this date. You know, I was happy to
royalties, no nothing. That's crazy.
Nah, Flex took all that shit. That nigga jerked me.
So so before 9, I mean, people are they go look into 9 history. You was in Deuces Wild, correct or incorrect?
Yeah, correct. With Flex,
And
it was me, Flex, my man Tito. It was me and Tito was the rat. Chuck Chillout was our manager. Actually, first Andre Harrell was my manager. He was our manager. Rest in peace, Andre. I'm gonna talk about that on the new project too, because a lot of people don't know that. But like all those dance steps they used to do, my partner was like into all that temptation shit. Like he could dance, so he taught them how to do that, and I was writing rhymes for them and just being around all that type of stuff. So when Andre got said he was gonna do his own label, like we were supposed to be his first group, but in between that, like Public Enemy came out, like niggas came out, and I was like, I want to talk that shit. Like Andre wanted you to talk that happy. You see what Heavy D did, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
He wanted us to do. I just wouldn't listen. I was hard headed like a no. We just wouldn't listen, right? And he was like, well, I'm not recording y'all until you give me a record that I can get a play on the radio. So we started messing with Chuck Chillout, and then Chuck was gassing it. He was like, yo, y'all can't be with both. Either be with him or y'all gonna be with me. What y'all gonna do? You know, he kind of bullied us, but everybody was terrified of Chuck Chillout back then. Chuck, Red Alert, and Marley Marl were the three most feared people in the world because they had the power to change your life or to stop it. They had the 12 hours of music on the radio. Those 3 men controlled it. So you don't want to piss them off. You don't want to ever be enemies with the only guy that is gonna, could play your music. So we went with Chuck.
Right.
Fucked up. I should have put on a shiny jacket and ran with Andre.
Speaking of that,
take it all back.
No, I wouldn't change nothing because it wasn't who I was. And I mean, I wasn't good. We weren't good enough back then. He knew I had the potential, especially with my pen, but I didn't have my delivery together. My voice hadn't changed yet. I was much lighter, so he knew I wasn't ready, but he knew I was going to develop into it. I just didn't have no patience, so I'm not mad at it because I never would have been hot on Uptown, right? I never would have happened. You know what I'm saying? So shit happened for a reason. I mean, as far as mentorship, and I saw Andre since then about 100 times. And he was always proud, like I knew he was going, because when I met him, I was only 14 years old. And they had a song on their album called Yellow Panties, but I wrote it, but it was called Fantasy, some shit like that. And they changed a few words and stuff. And they, back then, people would always tell you, yo, just write this for us. Let us use this. Don't tell nobody. And you next. I'm going to put you on next. So you wouldn't say you wrote the rhymes. You ain't want no publishing. I ain't even know what publishing was. I ain't know none of that. You just was so glad that this nigga's even talking to you. And he's on TV. Because it wasn't many of us. When I came up, there was like 8 rap groups.
Was it already Uptown Records or?
Nah, Andre was on Profile.
Yeah, okay, Jekyll and Hyde.
Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde.
Jekyll and Hyde. And really it was Alonzo. Mr. Hyde was the one who really found me. Because my DJ, when I was young, his name was Galaxy. He ended up becoming the DJ for them. But he was still my man. So he brought Alonzo to my house like, yo, this kid could really rap, man. If nothing else, he could write rhymes. He really knows how to write rhymes. I was the only child. I spent a lot of time by myself in the room. And I just liked rap. So I just started writing. I would just have like 100 rhymes in one weekend. Niggas thought I was crazy. They was like, yo, this nigga got... I go outside and be like, getting a cipher, and I go for an hour. It was the simple raps, you know, little kid shit, but it's what it was back then. You know what I mean?
Back in the days, like I used to call, back in the days when you call the get the number from the record cover and all that. You know what I mean? I spoke to Andre Harrell one time, and he said he was managing Ultramagnetic, Finessence and Quiz and stuff like that.
Yeah, he was geared up to be the next Russell, but when he met Heavy and he saw Heavy, like Heavy fit everything that he was looking for to launch his shit off. The Uptown, the Happy, you know, gun talk. Heavy D didn't curse. You know, that's another thing. I cursed too much. He was like, yo, like, you know, so, you know, he just was looking for something else. So we ended up going with Chuck. And the rest is kind of history. Like, you know, me and Flex used to drive Chuck around. Like, that's what we were, like the record dudes. But we would do anything to be around hip-hop, you know what I'm saying? And my man Tito lived next door to Chuck Chill Out. So at any given moment, Flavor Flav pulls up to go to Chuck house. Or, you know, I met everybody like that. Houdini, like they all come to Chuck's house and stuff. So we was like in the middle. We felt like we was in it, like we was around it and shit. So, you know, and you know how Flex got on. It's simple, like, you know, Chuck was missing days at work. I'm not gonna say why. You got to read my book. But he was missing days at work, and one day we went down there with the same tape that he gave us, because he would make a tape. And whenever he would go to work, he said, yo, take this to Jeff Fox. So me and Flex would drive down to Kiss Her Family, go upstairs, give him the tape. So one week he gave him the same tape he gave him the other week. And Jeff Fox said, wait a minute, this is the same tape. He looked at Flex and said, you got your records? And Flex was like, do I? He said, yo, he said, you want to DJ tonight? He said, we're not going to say your name. I'm going to still hit the button like Chuck Chill Out, and all that stuff, but at least you'll get to do it. Flex was like, yeah. Flex DJs a whole lot different than Chuck does. Like, Flex was the first dude to throw on a record that you love so much and only play 40 seconds of it and snatch it off and throw another record on it. Before you could get mad, it was another record you loved.
Yeah.
Like, he developed that.
That's mad smart, too. That's mad smart.
So in the middle of this, the boards are lighting up, the phones are off the hook, and Jeff Fox just said, fuck it. And tonight, for Chuck Chill Out, who's homesick, we got DJ Funkmaster Flex. And that was it. We went back to the block, and Chuck was, yo, he was so mad. He was like, what the fuck y'all doing? I was like, yo, he saved your job, bro. You know, he bought this tape here. He DJ'd for you for, you know what I'm saying? But that was it. Like, you know, too many people heard Flex DJ. So he wasn't going to, you know, so Chuck tried to still control the situation. He had him on the radio with him at BLS, but Flex is a smart dude. I'm not going to take nothing from him. He maneuvered his way through, you know, through all that stuff until he just landed in his own spot. And then he took Hot 97, which was like a Latin station. You remember Breeze, right?
I do.
Every record on Hot 97 used to be, I'm sending you this letter. Tell you that I miss you. You know, all them records back then, all those club records, the Spanish club records, they all started with, I'm sending you a letter. All of them. So,
yeah.
Flex got on the radio from, I think it was 12 to 2. Next thing you know, it was 10 to 2. Next thing you know, it was 9 to 2. And he just changed the whole radio station. Angie Martinez turned into a black girl. You know, she was on, because she was not talking like that. She was like, it's Angie Martinez on Hot 97. Once Flex got there, she was like, yo, it's your girl Angie. The whole shit changed.
So who was Deuces Wild, yo?
That was me and Tito, and Flex was our DJ.
Oh shit.
So let me ask you a question.
My first records was produced by 45 King, Mark the 45 King.
That's dope.
He did Def Line Lipper, the Chuck Chill Out intro, and then he did this song we had called 5 Times the Rhymer, and we had another song called Deuces is Dev, and 45 King did all those records.
That's crazy. Yo, when you, because at that time you wasn't doing the same.
No, I didn't have the sound.
Now.
My voice.
What made you do your voice when you started doing it first?
Well, that's my natural voice. I don't talk like, I don't go, yo. You don't know that shit, but it's my natural voice when I just manipulate and just yell or just raise the octave a little bit. So it's something that I learned how to I got locked up and shit. I was in Orange County State Pen and shit, right? And niggas was rapping in there, whatever and shit. So I would throw a little rap here and there, you know. But I would sing this Jamaican record called Operation Eradication. Breeze, you know that record, right? I used to be in the I used to be Operation Eradication. Them happy run. Them happy run. And this Jamaican dude say, yo, why not rap like that when you do your Yankee thing? I said, what you talking about? He said, when you be doing your local Yankee rap, you don't sound like that. When you do the Jamaican thing, you sound official. You sound good.
The sound of
like,
man.
light bulb went off like, bing. I never saw that man again. I got bailed out the next day. I never saw that man again. Changed my whole life. I went home and I started, yo, nigga, what?
Stop it.
Because I knew that I was doing something that was never done before. That's my Slick Rick moment. That's something niggas could never take from me. I introduced a sound, a style to hip hop.
Yeah.
Yo, Nine, I don't know if you remember. It was like 95.
He froze up for a second. Yo, Nine, you there? Wait for him to come back. It's probably his Wi-Fi and shit. Save that question to ask. I know you about to say that. I want to hear that question when it pop in and shit. But before you do it, Complex, you came up. Oh, when he comes back at 9, you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
You're like gotta go to a different part of your room or something because you're like frozen on the screen and shit.
Yeah, it's like computer love right now.
We'll wait for you to come back in because I know Complex was about to ask you something. I know it's something I want to hear. You know what I mean?
I have a shot of Tiger Bone.
You see me?
You got.
Am I still frozen?
No, you're good now. Go ahead. What you gonna say, Complex?
I was gonna say like 95, 96. I did a show back in the village somewhere. You performed. You was there, and Ja Rule's clique. What was it? Cash Money clique or something?
I remember that. Remember that. And Ja Rule ain't sound nothing like that, right? He sound like Chuck D back then.
Yeah. I remember before you got on, you was like in the corner of the room and you was getting your voice right. And I always remembered, oh wow, you was like fine tuning the instrument.
Right. I remember that shit.
Like, and I was like, oh. But one of your mans, he produced, I think he produced the B side of one of your records. And he had, I forget his name.
Tony Stout?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he had another artist named Exodus or something.
ARL Exorcist.
Yeah, and they took me down. He was like, yo, come to this record label. It's called Raw Records. They signing cats. And that was before Raucous was Raucous. It was Raw Records.
All right.
And I remember Brian and Jared. And I remember, what's this kid's name? He used to be down with Fuji's, John Forte.
Yeah. I remember.
He was like the A&R there. And I remember going to the office downtown with Tony Stout.
Yeah, that's funny you brought that. I remember that show with Ja Rule with the Cash Money clique. I remember that night and shit. Because when I did finally hear Ja Rule, I was like, wow, he sound totally different. Because you can listen to the records. I ain't got to, him and DMX. DMX was sounding like Sticky Fingers. Mm-hmm. You can listen to the song they did with Mike Geronimo. Them niggas ain't sound nothing like that. Nothing. And then he freestyled on NEMC on YouTube, so he had to know. But I think what he did was he realized he could reach that same octave and use it the same way, you know, same way Philip Bailey heard Smokey Robinson and said, oh, I can hit that pitch. And, you know, you do what you do. This is music. We supposed to grow off each other. He's supposed to, you know, it's not his fault that my shit, you know, nosedived and I went through what I went through label-wise and all that, and it hurt me. And he was able to prosper. This shit ain't his fault. I'm not mad at anybody. I'm not, you know, I don't have any of that shit in me, but I used to. Not gonna lie.
Yeah, because you actually couldn't do nothing at the moment because you was stuck on a label where you weren't able to do nothing while that shit was coming out, right or wrong.
Well, Arista bought Profile. And it was me, Smooth the Hustler, and Camp Low. You gotta remember, like, you know, we were the main three that they really wanted.
A good lineup.
Off Arista, but then Steve Plotnicki blocked the deal because he didn't want to sell them the Run DMC catalog. They was like, that's 50% of why we want this shit. You know what I mean? So he wouldn't sell it, and there's a clause in my contract while the label is going through negotiations. We couldn't sue for release, so I couldn't work. I did that 24/7 shit. I tried to disguise my voice, catch me a little. I caught a little $40,000 check with that, but it was like hustle mode after that. You know, and then by the time we got to Arista, the dude who wanted all of us, he got fired years before. So I walked in there, they was like, listen, we'll give you 32, they gave me $32,000 and say, do a demo, 4 songs. If we like it, we'll do an album with you. Man, I went to my man basement, I did like 6 little records, kept that check in the bank, gave it to them niggas. They was like, you sound like DMX. I was like, okay, y'all gonna release me? They was like, yeah, but by then it was too late. The damage was done. Like, this dude was selling 3 million records, so every label you go to, I was still stuck on remember, this is the time when you had to actually shop to get a deal. Yeah. Like, there was no putting out your own music. There was no internet. There was no nothing. You had to get a deal or nothing. You didn't have no choice. You had to get a record deal. It's a fucked up time because, you know, I tell these young dudes how good they got it. Like, you know, you can put your music out. You can let the world see who you are. You can build up your own fan base. You can do a lot of shit that, you know, we had to kiss, you know, label ass to get it.
Would you care to explain the situation, the KRS-One situation with What You Want? When he used that in the commercial or whatever?
So, I mean, it's public knowledge. I've said it before, so I don't have a problem saying it. He, this dude called me from Miami, Florida, or something. He said KRS did a track with my voice in it, and they wanted to use it for a Jeep Compass commercial for the radio. He said the commercial was gonna be on the radio. Now I know the difference because, you know, Breeze, your brother, hooked me up with the people down at the agency, and I did that Burger King commercial that went on TV. Yeah. And I got 16 G. I got hit. You know what I'm saying? For 4 words. All I said was BK for you, BK for you. 16 G's. I was like, what? And this is after the residuals start coming in from the commercial playing on TV. Like, you know, I was a member of ASCAP, so I got those fees too, so I was getting paid from it. So when this guy called me and said KRS did this shit and it was gonna be on the radio, I was like, cool, but you can't use that sample. I was like, y'all can't use that sample. I'm not letting you use my actual. I'll come say it again. I'll say it a little different. I'll say the same thing, but, you know. So he said, cool, we give you $2,500, you come say it. So I went down there and I said it different on purpose so I could tell. When the commercial came out, first of all, the shit came out on TV. I was like, what the fuck? Because I ain't get paid TV rates. I ain't signed no TV papers. And they used the sample. I was like, oh, these niggas didn't even, he think he playing with. So I called them, wilding out on him, and I was trying to get Chris on the phone because it was, he knew it was going to be on TV. So what he did was he had all the TV. He got all the money from, you know, from the TV stations for playing it and shit. Like, that's what he did. And he used the fact that he was like an idol to me, he used that, you know, as a, you know, a weakness on my part. That I would just go along with it and not, you know, not say nothing or not be pissed. So I had to fight them dudes for a minute, man. They gave me another little check, man, but it wasn't really nothing as what I should have gotten. But it turned me off to him as a person, you know, because it's not the first time I heard of Chris doing really fucked up business with people. Yep. You know, leaving them out there to drive. Remember that rapper Truck Turner?
Yep.
He was signed to Chris. I heard Chris took the whole budget. They never turned in an album. He just kept it. He was doing some wild shit, man.
Oh shit! Damn.
Wild shit.
It just sucks. It just sucks, like Rocko, when you said that, when you ask questions about a leader of what we agree in, and you have to explain that explanation of it. I'm like, damn, like, yo, because we, you know what I mean? But I want to take it to my man Complex Format. You came up with Organized Confusion, right?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? How did that all go about? I'm just trying to get everybody.
It was high school. High school principal sat next to me. He used to write his rhymes. I'm the capital P. O-E-T-R-Y. I'm the Fly Prince Poetry. And I had to look at him like, this dude's amazing. And then I was living in Jamaica, Queens, but my mom's was in Hempstead in Long Island. And I would go out to Hempstead and get into it with all these rappers out there. And on my block in Queens, there was a dude that grew up with my he was older than me, but he knew me as a baby, but he had all the computers and all this in the basement. He was like way beyond. He was telling us, everybody's gonna have a computer in their house. Back in the day, he was like, what? All the stuff, he said magazines, all this stuff, the internet's gonna take over. He was telling us all this craziness, but he had music and he had all these producers come through, all these musicians, dudes from Jamaica Funk record, Jamaica Funk. That's what it is. This dude named Kevin Osborne, he used to be down there playing. And I was too shy to be, jumping on the mic. So I would bring my man Prince over there. And then next, he started bringing his boy over, Monchichi. And then they started making music. They made their first record before Organized Confusion. It was STP, Simply Two Positive MCs. And then independent, they made a love record, Moments of Love or something. And then they producer Omega Supreme started working with me, try to keep me separate from them. And then next, they got a deal with Hollywood Records. And that's when the Organized Confusion started. But
OC was part of that too, right?
Yeah, OC lived across the street. So it was like, when I go to Farrell House, OC come across and Farrell play some beats on the tape deck, pause button style. And we just be rhyming. And that's when they was like, yo, this dude Complex is ill. And next things just popped off. And Fudge Pudge got OC that fame. And that's when Search snatched him up. And he snatched up Nas. And we used to go to the studios back in the days. I remember Search came in with a tape and one of them Walkmans, some yellow Walkmans with the mega bass. And he said, listen to what Nas just did. And he played One Love. I remember sitting there listening to that on the headphones during OC session. O got mad because I kept playing it over and over. He said, that shit ain't even on that dope. I said, this shit is crazy, man. O got mad. He was doing, I forgot what song he was doing.
Yo, is OC from Brooklyn or Queens? I always want to know, is he from Brooklyn?
Yeah. O's a funny dude because he's originally from Brooklyn, but he moved to Queens. His parents moved to Queens, but he was there for long enough time to be called Queens dude. And then, they did an early tour with Finesse and all them DIT dudes. The next OC was screaming DIT, and the organized.
That's really the Bronx, really, DIT.
Yeah. So it was a little confusing.
Yeah.
He spent some time in Queens. That's where I know him.
Complex, how you got with Spinner, man? I never got that story because y'all did some amazing records, man.
Yeah,
amazing music. Even like it's solo joints, polyrhythm. How'd you get with Spinner?
Well, that happened. That label I had signed with Raucus, and I did. No. Before that, Raucus on Rorschach.
Okay.
I had a manager, OC's man. Search. He had a dude named Mark that was his right-hand man that did all the work. And then he started managing me. And he brought me to this other dude's crib that had that record, Rorschach. And he had one artist named J Live. And I brought J Live down to Source, got him unsigned height.
Oh, shit.
And then one time at George crib, there was some dude there sitting there named Spinner. And he was like, I heard your first record. He was like, yeah, it was dope. Come through, I got some stuff, I'm gonna let you hear some stuff. Then I went to Spinner crib, and there you go.
I remember all them records, man. I remember, you know, I didn't have all those records, but I was Chuck Chill Out record boy. Like the mail used to come. Me and Flex would sit there, open up his mail, go through every record, playing this shit in the living room and say like, yo, this one's hot. He'd be like, yo, man, put that shit back, man. Fuck is you doing, man? You understand? Stop touching shit, man. Like, I want to take credit for Public Enemy for Time Bomb. I gotta take the credit. Like Chuck Chill Out he wasn't really fucking with PE. But you remember that record Time Bomb, right?
Yeah.
You go ooh and all when I jump in my car. That was my shit. I used to be in Chuck's ear every time I seen him. Like, yo, you gotta play this. You gotta be like, all right, man. What the fuck is it? Give me the record. Give me the record. He played the shit. That shit took off. Hard. Boom! Shit exploded. This nigga act like he did it. He was like, yo, he told me and Flex, yo, don't be telling nobody, you understand? Don't tell nobody that you niggas be going through the records, man, and let me know what's up, man. You hear me? If you do,
record pool shit was another. It was like a secret society, B. That record pool with on them levels with them dudes. It's like regular cats would like sign up for the record pools just so you could get shit and then know where to send your shit. But they had like a different record pool that was like upper echelon shit.
Yeah, I used to pick up the records when Chuck went on his record runs. I ain't gonna say, you know, I would be the one to go upstairs and get the envelope. Yeah, I remember one day we went to Select Records, right? And he was like, yo, I got the new Chubb Rock, man. Chuck, you're gonna fucking love it. Chuck was like, yeah. You got something for me? The dude was like, well, next week. Chuck was like, all right, man, let's go. So we walking out, and the dude goes, Chuck, you forgot the records. Chuck looked at him and said, no, I didn't. And dude said, okay, send your man up, you know, handle the business or whatever. But if Chuck saw your record and it didn't have like a label that he knew, he would frisbee that shit across his living room. I've seen many people's dreams go flying across the living room in his house.
That's crazy, because Independence is what started this.
I've seen people give him their cassette tape, run up on him like, yo, Chuck. Man, he'd be like, all right, man, no doubt. As soon as we drive a block away, out the window. Wow. He wouldn't even press play or put. That made me realize sending out tapes and that shit, man. We used to go to the labels and the tapes be part. The Wu-Tang Clan album was in Profile Records, a box of demos. Damn. I found that shit in there and was like, yo, what is this? And it was like 3 records that didn't even make the album. I wish I'd have kept the cassette.
Yeah, that should be worth
it. You know what I mean? But I was like, y'all didn't listen to this? He was like, nah, they mailed it. Like, you mail shit, niggas throw that shit in a box, man. They tape over it. They used to put tissue. You know how you take the tape and you put tissue so you can record over it?
Yeah. They did that, man. And the tape, too. I put tape over that shit. Yeah,
they used to be like, yo, you got a cassette? Yo, get one out that box. You'd be like, yo, this shit says, don't worry about it, man. Give it to me. They put a piece of tissue in it, put it in, press record. Like, a lot of dudes don't realize, like, yo, like, Chuck, yo, DJs is ruthless, man. They was not really trying to listen to your shit, man. Like, you know, you had to be on a label, like I said, a label they respected. They wouldn't even give your shit a chance.
If they did, it was such a lottery. I remember one time they played J Live, Flex played, and I was like, how'd you get that record?
Oh, see, now Flex was different. Flex was different. That nigga would go through. He would go through his records. When I was rocking with him, doing parties with him and running around with him, he would listen to every fucking thing. You had about 25 seconds. When he put the needle on, you had 25 seconds. You know what I mean? If he liked it, then it might get to a minute. And then he's like, so you put this in that pile. And if you made it to this pile, that means you was going to get listened to again. You know, he was real serious about being a DJ. Like, I know a lot of people, you know, look at him the way they look at him, especially today. But with the young dude that I came up with, this nigga loved hip-hop, man. He loved music. He would play everybody's records. He would listen to everything, try to, you know what I mean? He was definitely on some hip-hop shit. He was a hip-hop dude, you know?
That's how he's supposed to be, man.
I mean, that's how he was. It all changed when things start to happen for you, you know, when you get big.
You start a lot of money and shit. That shit, the money changes. You know what I'm saying?
It's not even the money. It's the ego. It's the adulation that makes people drunk with fame. It's not the money. It's like You know, because you don't see dudes out here that's like a brain surgeon. You don't see that nigga walking around with big ass chains on going, yeah, nigga, I just saved 3 people today. Fuck with me.
Yeah.
You don't see that shit. It's the adulation of people coming up to you, telling you how fucking great you are all day.
Yeah.
It's like a girl when she walking down the street. If niggas is telling her she's beautiful all day, every day, she's gonna be very difficult to deal with and live with.
Yeah, you're right. You're exactly right.
Mm.
Yo,
You know, it's
Breeze.
just.
Oh, go ahead. Who's saying?
Now, go ahead, man. I'm good.
Yo, Breeze, how did the whole Weathermen get put together and shit? I was always wondering about that shit.
I mean, the Weatherman thing is, you know, it was just like cats you rhymed with. And I mean, I think I only ended up on like 3 records. So it's like, I'm glad cats dig it, but it was really Cage. Cage was like, yo, let's do this shit. And it's going to be the Weatherman. I was like, we rhyming? Cool, I want to rhyme. Like, I ain't know about the politics of it all and all that. I was just.
Why the
You know what I
Weatherman? Why?
He was on some like really, you know, overthrow shit, and you know, we gonna be the cats that overthrow it and counterculture and whatever. And I was just like, I guess, I mean, whatever. I mean, we.
Nah, I mean, where you get that name from? Why?
Weatherman Underground. That's what he was trying to like pay homage to that. I mean, it wasn't really nothing that meant a lot to me. If I'm gonna keep it a buck. And, you know, it was just like, all right, cool. You know, we went to the lab. Tame would be in there, and Camus would be in there. So it was like cats that I was digging. So I was like, all right, let's get it. Let's throw the beat on. Let's see what we got. And like I said, I only ended up on like 3 joints, but it took on its like a life of its own. And I don't really talk to Cage no more. I ain't talked to him in years. So it's like, I ain't got no problem with the man, but it's just like, when cats like Weatherman, it's like you gotta ask Cage more. I still talk to Copy. I did a record with him like a month ago. On his new shit. His new shit's gonna be hard. The High Exalted 2 is hard.
Yeah, I remember the first album.
Yeah, that shit is gonna be hard. But
whatever happened
you know,
to that label?
I mean, my is he was running Eastern Conference, and he, you know, he's a full-time DJ at a spot in Vegas now. But Ma was always dumb cool. He was like a real cool cat. They were all cool cats. You know, just cats, you know, they fall apart. You know, you get up, have your responsibilities. I started teaching. And, you know, everybody kind of went their own separate ways. After Moo died, it was a lot too. You know, like that was like 10 years ago. Like honestly, I could think of like once Camus died, it definitely you know, it kind of slowed shit down in that regard. But everybody, you know, I still talk to Len. He wasn't in the Weatherman, but you know, I still talk to a lot of cats. Man, hip hop, I done met like real cool people. Like, you know, I done talked to Complex like, you know, a handful of times in my life, but always like maximum respect to you, brother. Always liked your artistry.
Respect.
And your sister posted
you know
a picture of y'all when y'all were kids, and your brother
What was
Kev.
that?
Your sister posted a picture when y'all were kids, and your brother Kev. I swore that was me.
Yeah,
like,
well,
just like me when I was little.
Yeah.
Kev's the best, man. Salute to Kev.
I was like, yo, this is crazy. And he looked
that's the only picture I ever seen Kevin Eyes glasses. I never seen that nigga's eyes before, yo.
Yo, that was Elder Barge Kev. That was Kev the Barge. he used to get all the broads, man. He still does right. You know, ladies like him. You know, but yeah, man, this game been good to me, man. Like a cat like Nine, you don't understand what it was like. When you think about cats like Nine and Jesse West and like, you know, being from the Northeast Bronx, you know what I mean? It's, you know, even cats like Flex, like Chuck's from, you know, our hood. I went to
Yonkers though.
Yeah,
nah, he's not
he's from 225th. You know what it is.
Yeah, he moved to Yonkers though, but he was
you know, but Flex was in my grammar school. You know what I mean? He used to
Aston Taylor.
Oh, for real?
He used to cover my class. Yeah, he went to
Flex
my
is
grammar school.
Jamaican. A lot of people don't know Flex is like full Jamaicans, mother and father. Like,
Oh,
yeah,
shit.
yeah. And so it's like, you know, this game just to see a cat like I remember Flex like doing parties, like
yeah.
house parties. When I was in like second grade, he was doing house parties in 8th grade. And I was like, and then he was nice. So then to see him become what he became, and then I remember him doing parties in our Savior Lutheran, because that's where he went to high school. And you know, it was just like the Mount parties, like to see Cat come out. It was.
Did you know Rembrandt? Michael? That was Flex's first rapper, Rembrandt. He was nice.
I remember the dude. I ain't know, but I definitely remember that dude.
He had the demo called the Softy Rings. He used like Mr. Softy's music, but he was killing it. He was like the Softy Rings. He was murdering it.
We had some dudes. We had some dudes.
He was Flex's rapper. I knew him. And that's how I met Flex. And then I heard Flex DJing in my man Ed's house in the basement. And I was outside in the car, and he was catching like this beat. Remember that beat? One of the hardest beats in the world.
Wow.
Yo, that nigga was not only catching it, he was like, it was crazy. I said, yo, who is that? And he was like, that's Junior. That's Funk Master. Because his name wasn't Flex until I started saying it.
Yeah, you gave him his name. You officially gave him Funkmaster Flex.
Well, no, I didn't give it to him, but back in the day when you was flexing, that meant you was DJing. Like, yo, you know, you flexing on the turntables. So whenever I said his name in a rhyme, I'd be like, hey, yo, Funkmaster Flex the Funk, you know. And one day he said, yo, call me that from now on. I said, what? He said, Funkmaster Flex. I said, all right. So I didn't tell him you should change your name, but I was saying it so much, he liked it. And he said, you know, because when I met Flex, like the next day, we went to the studio that Andre Harrell paid for, and he was cutting on records and stuff. So he didn't really go through the grind. 3 days later, he met Chuck, and Chuck was like, oh, that's a nice car. That's all that mattered. You got a car? That means you can pick me up and take me where I want to go. So Flex was like Jerome, but he was just waiting for his moment. He was like, yo, I'm going to rock with Morris until shit pop off for me. So that's why he was dry. He used to take a lot of abuse from Chuck, too. I'm not going to front. Chuck will laugh at it now, but, you know, Chuck was a tyrant back in the day. You see what I'm saying? And Flex used to take a lot from him just to be around hip-hop. But, yeah, I mean, you know, I just wanted to know if you know Rembrandt because he grew up around probably the same time.
Yeah, no, I definitely remember the name. But, you know, I mean, just, you know, around our way, it was like Slick Rick, Fat Doug, Solid C, Grayson and Jason.
Yeah, Grayson and Jason.
We had a bunch of dudes, but the first dude to really break through was not. Like, I mean, Rick was Rick. That's a whole nother thing. He's another world.
And that was like years before. But when we used to see Rick, people don't understand. I think I told Stress. We used to see Rick walking up and down the street.
Walking up and down, chilling by himself.
No eye patch, and his eyes gray. The other one is like silver almost.
Yeah, he lived right around the corner from me. So I would see him
walk
like
up and down the street. Nobody
snow and shit, no eye patch, and I'm like, damn, Rick, where's the eye patch? You know what I mean? But
he used to walk around. He was by himself mostly all the time. You see him, he'd be like, yo, that's Slick Rick. Well, we used to call him Ricky D. He'd be like, yo, that's Ricky D, yo. That's the dude that was in the park going la-di-da-di. Because he became like a superstar from the Valley Park when he performed la-di-da-di for the first time. This is before any record deals or none of that shit. Like, he just came out there and was doing it. And people, we went home.
You seen him in Valley Park rocking it?
I seen him in the Valley Park. He did la-di-da before Dougie Fresh, before all that. It wasn't even no music. They turned the music off. He was like, la-di-da-di, we love to party. He just did the rhyme. And the whole crowd went crazy. Everybody was going crazy. Because nobody never heard no shit like that, no rhymes like that. Plus his voice, the way he, you know, was like, that dude? Because we used to see that nigga all the time.
You had your moment, though, man, holding down the Northeast and the Bronx.
Oh, yeah, no, I definitely.
I salute you, my brother, and, you know, it was
Thank you, family. You already know, man.
I mean, I've told you already, but I will see any opportunity to, get this man his flowers, man. He meant a lot to where I'm from.
Thank you, brother.
And still does. So, you know what I mean? It's
Thank
an
you,
honor
fam.
to be building with you always,
Yo, Nine.
Thank you, Breeze.
Yo, Nine. What connected you, Nine, with the Snow Goons contact? You know, what I mean, I know Snow Goons people. What how'd that whole Snow Goons situation happen, Nine?
Well, like they had called me, not called me. I think during the MySpace time, like when MySpace
Damn.
When MySpace was popping, that's when they first reached out to me, and I didn't know who they was. I ain't know nothing. He was like, "Yo, we just did an album with MOP. You want to do an album?" And I was like, "Okay, cool." I said, "How much what y'all got?" He's like, "Well, no, we just do it together," and I just hung up. Back then, I wasn't trying to hear it. I'd been jerked and robbed so bad, so much. I was like, I don't want to hear nothing.
Unseen.
So they reached out to me again in like 2017. And by now, I know how it works and I knew who they was. They asked me to be on this record, back to the 90s with Sticky Fingers and Drez, and it was a bunch of people on there. Man from the Beatnuts, Psycho Les. There's a lot of dudes on the record. So I was like, you know what? People never really heard me rhyme with other people like that. So let me jump on it, no problem. So I did the record, and they got a real good response. And it was, since they overseas, I'm at, my second album is a classic overseas. Like Cloud9 is like a Bible to some of the people overseas. So he was like, "Yo, you ready to, do?" I said, "All right, send me some beats." And we just started clicking, and we made a great album, the King album. I'm proud of it because it's my last boom bap effort. And I believe I raised it up a little bit. I showed where boom bap would be if it didn't have the competition it has. Because like all music, sounds and rhythms, it changes.
Yeah.
Even if you don't like what it changes to, nothing's gonna stay the same. You know what I mean? So I think when you have a set project, you try to do your best. So I think we did our thing. We made some decent money, and I get to tour with them eventually, but I'm going in a whole nother direction now. I'll be 51 in September. Shit is real.
Yeah.
You start feeling that. You start thinking like,
yeah.
You start thinking different, man. It hits you. You start thinking different. Like, what am I really doing? Like, what am I really saying? What am I really, all that other shit just, I can't even really listen to it. Like, I fuck with Griselda. I got Conway the Machine on my King album. I got Cool G Rap on there. I got Chris Rivers is on the projects. Me and Smooth Hustlers on the record with Cool G Rap. I forgot who else I had on there. Damn, Cool G.
The King project is real dope.
Yeah, so that's how I ended up. And I made some good friends. They cool dudes. And now I got an overseas.
Oh, you had Rusty Jokes. You had Rusty Jokes on there.
Oh, I had Rusty, my brother Rusty, man. Yeah, man.
Yeah.
And Sticky Fingers was supposed to be on that hook. He did the hook, but
they
lost it. They lost the hook. They erased his vocals somehow, and it was like 2 days before mastering, so I had to step in and do my Jay Farrow. You know what I'm saying? Nigga too big, we just jump him. Well, I just had to do his parts.
The first like 6 times I went to Stress's crib, everybody who rolled through Stress's crib, he had that shit on full blast. Like, check out this, check this shit out. Nine just did with the Snow Goons, tell me this shit ain't hard. Boom, he got the speakers on full blast. Everybody that came to the studio.
I was like, yo, this my dude.
Hard.
Just gonna make it. He gonna make people hear me. He always looked out. He makes like, yo, I'm playing this shit.
Sure. Thank you to Breeze. Like, I'm always gonna say thank you to Breeze. I'm never gonna give up on that shit. Breeze is my fucking brother. Breeze, I love you, brother.
Good people got it. Good people gotta meet good people. So
Nah, I'm always gonna salute that shit. I'll never fucking not say that. Like, Breeze introduced me to Nine. You know what I mean? Like,
the funny shit is to me, like when I talk to Breeze or Kevin, it's not even hip hop. Like, this is family for real. Yeah. Brothers for real. Like, so when I reposted their joint one day, and this kid made a comment underneath it. I think y'all had put up the old Blue Skies joint, and I reposted it. And this kid said, "Yo, you know the Juggernauts?" And I deleted him. I blocked him.
Yo, Nine. We got Geology just jumped in here and shit.
Hey, what's good, Nine? How you doing, brother?
What's good? What's popping, yo?
Who did the president's joint that you
just... Oh, there's my man.
Where's
he at?
He's right there. Talk
here, brother.
Yes, sir.
All right, that's what's up, man.
Dad?
Yeah.
What's popping?
I don't know if y'all heard the Complex and Breeze. You guys heard the president's joint with 9 and shit? These presidents don't represent.
Yeah, this is the producer right here. I met through the producer's corner, man. He did a great job.
That song is crazy.
That shit is hard.
That shit's on Spotify. The shit is doing its numbers. We're gonna start the promotion real heavy in a minute once I get this mixtape done. But yeah, man, that's a great record. I get a lot of love for that record. Yeah. A lot of people ask me who did that beat, who did that. But I was like, his name is on there. Like then they go check and be like, all right, you know what I mean?
Ology, man, he's a beast too, man.
Yo, speaking of, man, yo, 9, whatever you do, don't listen to the last beat he just came up with, man. I've been telling everybody, yo, stay away from that beat. Because Stress got the sample challenge every week, so I heard his beat. I made the mistake, bro. I made the mistake. I ain't finished my beat yet. It's due tomorrow, and I heard geology shit, and I was like, "Yo, fuck this! I'm throwing the whole shit in the trash. I'm selling my equipment.
It's crazy.
Yo, I'm done."
Nah, he gave me. We got some more shit in the work, man. He's giving me
That's what I
tons
like
of music. I got so many tracks from him that I'm gonna get to. I just had to stop for a minute and get this Who's Volume 3 shit done. And
He's
get this out the way.
too, man. That's my brother.
Sir.
He's a real genuine motherfucker, for real.
Yeah, he's good people. Yeah.
That's what's up, brothers. I appreciate y'all, man. Yes.
Yeah, man.
Definitely. So, Complex, what you got? You got any more music coming, Complex, in the future? Like, what's going on? You're not rapping no more? You just doing the video, John?
I ain't wrote a rhyme in like a couple of years, man.
Word?
Yeah.
You don't get the inspiration, like?
No.
All right, let me do
this. I was like, maybe I might do another poly if I can get everybody together. And I was trying hard, but it's difficult. Everybody's grown.
Yeah, grown shit's not the same as the kids. Yeah. This is a kid's thing, because you know what I mean. Even though the grown man's I'm saying like no. The reason why I say this, Nine, if you go perform in the Bronx, now, you know the people ain't gonna come that's your age to your show. You know, I'm like, Nine's coming, like they're gonna be like that. You know what I mean?
Because they already heard the record 850,000 times. Sometimes, yo, when you get older, this is what happens. Yo, on Wednesday, you and your wife and shit be like, yo, Rakim, all them niggas gonna be at the Apollo. We going for sure. We going. Then you come home Friday from work. She comes home from work. Put the kids to sleep. Be like, yo, let's have a glass of wine before we start getting ready. Next thing you know, it's like, yo, we catch them niggas next time.
Yeah.
And that's the grown up part of it. But as far as who should be running it, this shit was started by grown men. Niggas was grown. Grandmaster K, these niggas was grown.
Respect. Cass was on one of our shows. Respect.
Flash, Cool Herc was 30-something years old. He invented hip hop. This is not no kid shit. It's just that if people around you might not be as dedicated as they once were, because they, you know, it wears off on some people just. So if you're in a group, I can understand it's hard to get, you know, both members or all, especially if it's more than 2 people in a group. That's why I went solo. So I knew I could make my decisions on my own. If I fail, it's on my own. If I make it, it's on no matter what. I don't have to call somebody like, yo, man, I need your verse. I went through that shit being in a group when a person is not dedicated like you are. And then look what happens, like with Hakeem. I asked him, you know, so with Channel Live, he said, homeboy won't do no shows. He don't want to do nothing. He don't want nothing to do with it. So now you fucked. You can't even do your catalog. You can't even go on. You can't even go on tour and shit. I heard Das Effects is hard to get both of them niggas.
Yeah, I heard the same shit. Yep.
And I'm like, well, what the stickity stuff is he doing that he can't just You got fans. Like, you know, that shows you don't really even love the culture like that.
They had big records on the radio too. That shit's crazy.
I mean, it was a huge group. They introduced their own style to, you could call it what you want, but at the time when they was doing it, everybody and their mother was like, spiggity, everybody.
In my opinion, those are the first mumble rappers, but it, like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
nah, because
what did they say?
What did they say?
It wasn't mumbling. They was putting shit in between. But skibbity bum bum.
Yeah, it was like they implemented like scat to rap.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
They was something different. Yeah. They was coming out the sewer. They was opening up the sewer. They was
fucking dope.
Like the ninja.
Yeah, the dope. had dreadlocks before niggas that wasn't Rasta had dreadlocks?
Yo, yeah, I had to cassette tape, man. I bumped that shit until the tape broke.
But
You
like
know, you had to get some
three
Scotch
albums
tape
and
and mend the shit because the tape player ate up the fucking tape, so you'd have to get some Scotch tape and put it together.
Or get a pencil and twist that shit back.
Yeah. You said that like.
I used to do that shit all the time.
Yeah, the struggle was real with the tape deck, man.
When CDs came out, I had about 500 cassette tapes, albums I bought. And when CDs came out, I was like, nah, fuck that. I ain't switching. I got my first CD.
I was like that too. Yeah. Because you ain't got to fast forward or rewind. You just going like this next.
Yeah, that's what made me mad. You couldn't fast forward or rewind shit. You had to keep it.
And you know when you got that fast forward shit and it does the pause and it'll go to the next song, but they got like an interlude, that shit will go to the fucking song after and shit. I remember all that shit.
Yeah. Until they figured it out.
Yo, it's real nostalgic to just think, man, back like when you want, like if you just let the whole shit play out, let's say you got some stuff going on at the crib, you clean it up, doing whatever, and then all of a sudden you're like, damn, like I want to hear the first record off of that joint, and it's track number 1, and you gotta go and wait 15 minutes until you get all the way back to the beginning, then press play again. Like,
imagine how people felt with the 8-track.
Yeah. It was like
it was on some click.
My mom had an 8-track deck in her Pontiac and shit. I remember that shit. Like that shirt was brand new. Like I got an 8-track. I remember my
mom had the 8-track, but she had all the Richard Pryor joints on 8-track.
Oh, that's dope.
So when I come home from school, my friends come to the house. I was the only child, so I was home by myself.
We had a crib. All right, that's
I used to throw them albums. I used to have a few Richard Pryor albums too. Like we used to have Richard Pryor parties when I was like 11 years old. I used to invite niggas over. Yo, want to hear this shit? This is the funniest shit because it was the funniest shit in the world. Yeah. I never heard no shit like that as a kid. So I used to have Richard Pryor parties and shit.
Yeah, I'm a little bit younger. We used to have Mike Tyson parties when I was growing up. Every time Mike Tyson had a fight, pay-per-view, 20, 30 people at the crib. Like, oh man.
We had those too, but it was called I Cannot Afford This 49 by Myself. So everybody put up $5. $5, $3, and we get this pay-per-view, nigga. You had to go to the nigga's house who had the box, who actually had
the box. I remember.
Anybody ever met Mike Tyson? Anybody ever met?
Oh man, you ain't meet Mike Tyson before?
No, I didn't.
I never met him.
Rocko said he met him in the elevator or some shit, right? Yeah.
I've met Don King and fucking Al Sharpton in the elevator. But I was at the pool with Mike Tyson.
Mike is mad cool, man. I mean, if you meet him, I guess I know in the right settings and shit. I mean, I was backstage and I forgot whose shit it was. I think it was that Jay-Z shit when he had Michael Buffer come out and go, the champion or something. You remember that shit? That concert, the fade, that shit. Went to that shit and Mike was backstage at that shit. And I mean, he was cool. Niggas, he knew who people was because he grew up, a lot of these older celebrity dudes, like, they know us because they was kids when we was doing our thing, you know what I mean? Yeah. So they grew up.
I got a picture with Mike Tyson somewhere. I just don't have it in my possession.
Oh, yeah, like he didn't look like the type to be. And plus, I was never on that, like the nigga the baby be saying, you a nigga asking for pictures, man, get the fuck out. I don't be like, can I get a picture with you and shit? I'm like, I just have a problem doing that shit. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Listen, that's how it went down, but it was a bus trip to New York to the Apollo. You know what I'm saying? And he was there. And he had the big fur on, his wide shoulders and shit. I tried to put my arm across him like, hey.
Yeah, that's a big dude, man. Even though he's not tall, man, you could just see, like, you don't want to get hit by this thing.
Nah,
you're going to sleep and shit. Yeah,
no. Like we were talking about before, that should have changed your life.
You be like Ace and paid in full. I talk different. That nigga hit you in your head. Look what happened to Mitch Green. That nigga ended up being a crackhead on 42nd. He was nuts. People used to jump on him. It was real sad how he went down, man, after Mike punched him in the head.
Oh,
Yeah.
That nigga was never the same. He went crazy, yo.
Yo, Breeze, you got a megahertz project coming out you was talking about earlier? What's going on?
Nah, just one song on High Exalted too, on copy and shit coming out soon.
Oh, okay.
That's dope.
Not no.
You got
not no
an
full
album
budget.
coming out on your own too at the same time, or what's going on?
Yeah. I got an album coming out. Probably. Hopefully, I can get it out by like September. That's the goal. I'm really just trying to get videos done right now.
September.
Complex, what's up? We gotta connect. Complex Breeze. Yeah, go ahead.
Might
have to. Might have September. Yeah.
What year? 2023 or
2020? 2020.
Y'all gonna have to be wearing motherfucking masks and that shit. Like
these niggas.
We going through all of that now. Honestly, a lot of animation.
I tell your brother all the time, yo, why are you sitting on this shit, man? You sitting on this shit.
You right.
You got one joint. I'm not even gonna say what it is or what flow you use for the hook, but that shit is crazy. I was like, yo, why are you? But the dope thing about y'all is y'all so original that your shit is kind of timeless because it's not like it's out of style because it's your style. It's your shit, so you can put it out when you want.
I hope they're digging it, but I want it out.
You know the one I'm talking about. Trust me, they gonna dig it, man. I don't know why you fucking around, man.
I'm not. I just gotta get it out.
Stress when you hear this shit. Oh God, yo, Breeze slowed it down a little bit. The wordplay is a little different.
Breeze is a fucking beast, period.
But it's like, yes, when I heard it from my perspective, because I'm thinking about the fans. I could listen to Breeze rhyme all day. It's dope. But when I think about the layman, you know what I mean, as artists and when we mold in our craft, at some point we got to start saying, I got to start feeding the layman in a little bit. You know, by layman, I mean those who aren't really trying to think too much.
Yeah.
You know, you feed it to them a little more direct. And when I heard that record, I was like, oh, God, this is it right here, man. Y'all, you got them banging, man. That shit's crazy.
Thank you, my brother.
Yeah, that's no joke. You know me.
But
no
I be taking forever to get shit out, and I just got to get it out.
I know how that shit is.
I don't want to not have visuals lined up for it and all that. But it's time.
You know how I heard it? I went to your brother's house to play him the King album, play him some joints, right? And you know how your brother is. He was sitting there, we rolling weed, he's nodding like. So as soon as I was finished, he's like, all right. Click, and he started playing joints.
What else? Like, Kev, you watching? I love Slim.
Kev was like, that shit is dope, man. That shit is dope right there. Then he gives you the fist bump. Dope, my brother, dope. You keep smoking. Then when you finish, he's like, okay, my turn. Pow! He start knocking joints and banging them, and then he leaves you in the room, though. He always press play, and he leaves. So you be in there by yourself going, then he comes back in like, you feel it? You already like this, like, yo, where'd you go? He went to get some more weed or whatever. But
that sounds very Kev.
You know, I know that nigga back and forward, yeah.
Yeah, man. I'm even Complex. You got them lyrics too, man. What's up? You gotta get back on that pen shit. What's up, man?
I don't know. I know some people mad at me that been sending me beats for features. They're like, yo, get on this track. All these people are on it. You gotta get on it. I'm like, yeah, okay. I don't even like.
If that paper's gonna start talking, I'm sending you a couple fucking some money. But okay, all right. But
that'll help.
Yeah.
I mean, I do features all the time, and I also get a lot of emails, and it's like, yo, I don't really have that much. I do it for the culture, for the love, and I always respond back to them like, yo, I do this shit for a living, and the culture don't love you.
Yeah.
So you can keep saying you do it for the love. I was like, you know, for all I know, you know, you're a lawyer on the side or some shit. If you could do this for the love, but I ain't got 16 for you for free. Like, I can't help you.
Yeah. Oh, I think all the artists like that should get.
And I do shit for the low if I like the record. If a dude send me something and I think he got something going and he just need a little, you know what I mean? especially if they're in their mid-20s and they doing some like hardcore shit. I throw them a verse for cheap, 300. Fine. I ain't doing shit. 16 bars comes out of my head, don't cost me nothing, you know. And it might really help them. I wish when I was coming up that I could email somebody and be like, yo, can I get a hook? Can I get a, I pay you.
Well, Rakim, could you hook me up with it?
I already paid him. I paid that nigga. I paid that nigga $4,000 for NEMC to disagree with me. Wave your arm. Do you know how much $4,000 was in 1995? This shit was crazy.
How much did you pay Shan? Get frisked just in quarter to get in with that.
He don't own his publishing, so we paid the cold chilling nigga.
Tie, fly tie and shit.
Yeah, he only wanted like 500. Little sample. But I remember them sample costs because they used to come out of your budget back in the day. So the label don't care. They'll pay for the sample, and then you end up when you get your royalty check like minus 25. Who you gave this to? They be like, oh, that's that Stevie Wonder shit you used.
yo, do you think a label could like tell you that it costs a 500 and it really only costs a 200? They could lie to you and shit. Is that possible?
They could do whatever they want. That's my point. But I reached out to them we paid them directly because I went through the production company. We was the ones who contacted them to get them to do it. So we paid them. We had the money ourselves. So that's how I know how much each one costs. I know Rakim was 4 Gs because we was thinking about not using. I was like, what are we gonna do? The record is a great record the way it is. If I can't change it, like.
Didn't you say that we was talking like that Rakim actually didn't get the money, someone else did?
Yeah, he told me he told me himself, that he did because he was like, yo, yeah, man, because when I met him, he knew because I used his joint, but he knew, he's a hip hop nigga, so he knew me. But I was just like telling him how important he was to me, like, he was the one. If I could pick one dude like that really changed how I approach hip hop and how I approached, making a record or where I could go with it, it was him.
Rakim.
When I first heard him, I threw a whole rhyme book away after he put out by the time he got to I Ain't No Joke, I was just throwing all this shit away. Like, I got to start all over. Like, you know what I mean? Because this dude was to me, he was just, the dopest.
You put him above Kane at that time?
Of course. Now, I liked Kane too, but
Kane was dope at that time.
But Rakim was like planets get small as balls of clay to rhyme. Come on, man. It was a whole different fucking world to me. Kane was punchlines.
I was always wondering why didn't Rakim become part of Cold Chillin' and the Juice Crew? I don't understand.
Why would he do
fucking
that?
with Marley in the beginning. No, but it would have been a crazy ass fucking.
You got your story twisted. Eric B bought him was trying to do a record.
But didn't Polo bring G-Rap?
It was supposed to be.
Too?
I'm gonna tell you. You want to know? Or you want to?
Yeah.
It was supposed to be Freddie Fox.
Yeah, I heard about that. Yeah.
But Freddie Fox was in a group, and Eric B only wanted Freddie Fox, and he was like, when you're young, it's like I ain't leaving my homeboy out. Like, if you don't take both of us, so he was like, all right, forget it. So then somebody brought Rakim to Eric B, and he took him to Marley's house.
Yeah, I heard that shit.
So he was never down with Juice. He was down with Eric B was trying to do this music shit. And he took him to Marley and paid him to do the beat. And Rakim said Marley didn't even like him. He said he didn't like the way he rapped. Because
he was
slow.
Sitting back. He said he sat down and said that shit. Yeah, he was like, what the fuck you doing? Like,
yeah, he said he was sitting down rhyming. He didn't like Rakim like that. That's when he heard him, when he did the record for him,
That shit is crazy. That shit is definitely fucking crazy. Before we go on, I need an inspiration. I need an inspiration out of all three, y'all. I'm gonna go with Breeze first. Breeze, who's your top 5 rappers that became Breeze and shit?
Definitely Rakim. He's one of them. I would say Chris. When I heard poetry, I was like, this is some other shit. Poetry was a huge record for me. I played that record back and forward. I wrote down all the rhymes for that. So that those two. Honestly, I thought Special Ed when he came out, and it's bug because he's not that much older than me. But I thought his style was like just like internal rhyme schemes and stuff. I was like, he just had like a real slick way with it. I'm taxing. Like after I heard I'm taxing, I was like, oh, okay. It's like that. Like Cats is really about that creativity. I gotta throw Kane in there. When I heard Just Rhyming with Biz, it just kind of floored me. You know what I mean? I probably throw Ace, Master Ace. That's my 5.
Wow, all right.
I
Interesting.
like
Yeah.
Ace. I'm gonna go to Mr. Complex. Who's your top 5 influences and shit?
Oh, I think you said 3. All right. I don't like to say like the everyone, you know, the popular 5 that everybody always says. You know, I would pick somebody, you know, that's a little bit different that doesn't get announced. Like him saying Special Ed, I was like, okay, Special Ed was, but my top would be G-Rap. I would even still go to LL. L changed a lot of styles when he was like Milky, when he did
Jack the Ripper?
Jack the Ripper, yeah.
Yeah.
It was like the way he was growing on the tracks, like as an MC, it's like Milky, and I'm back. Serving the world with the brand, slow it up, speed it up, now I'm gonna eat it up. Yeah, I was like, damn, ain't nobody touching it like that. And his stories telling was ill, you know. I would say Fat Lip from the Far Side.
Oh shit, for real?
Wow. That dude was dope.
I didn't think you was gonna get out of Queens Complex. So
Yeah, that's what I thought. I heard people like, yeah.
Wasn't supposed to.
You got two more.
That's a dope pick, though. Word.
Damn, I had it 5 before. That was like, y'all wouldn't pick
Changes all the time.
No, I'm saying who made you like really want to really start doing this shit. That's what I'm saying. Like,
well, then I would say Slick Rick. And if we go back to what made me want to do it, the first record I bought was Just Ice record.
That's the.
Just Ice is just, I think, gangster. I don't think about. I mean, you guys are from the Bronx, you know. Just Ice, that's all I think of. I heard a story of Just Ice where Master Ace was saying that Cold Chillin owed him some money or something like that, and I guess they had like a door. It was like a metal door to the building inside, and Master Ace went to go in there, and he said the door was all fucking like pushed in, like the metal door like pushed in up, like it was broken on the bottom and shit. And they're like, "Yo, what happened to the door?" He said Just Ice was trying to get in the door and shit with this shit. Ace was like, "Y'all motherfuckers should pay this motherfucker. He's gonna do some shit like that and shit." Like, yo,
he was a wild bully, yo. Wild bully.
You told me the Eric Sermon story. I mean, I'm not gonna fucking like.
Yikes.
Testimonial. Gotta get the testimonial.
Why you gonna bring it up now? I gotta say it.
I mean, you don't have to say it. It's up to you.
Chuck Chillon took us to Sleeping Bag Records to play our demo, so we go down there and shit. And Eric Sermon was there, and he had the big donkey rope chain, the gold joint, like Run DMC.
Yeah.
And this nigga Just Ice comes in. And he's like, I got a chain on, so I'm going to show you what happened. He goes, oh, yo, man, let me check this out.
Yeah,
Yo, he pulled it. He just took it off the nigga. Shit hit his nose, all kind of shit. He just took it off of Eric. And he put it on. He was like, oh, this shit is nuts. This shit is dope. But we still in the offices. So he's walking around. Eric's keeping his eye on him and shit. He ain't thinking nothing too crazy. So Eric wanted to leave. So he's like, yo, let me get that. He said, nah, man, I ain't finished rocking it yet, man. Chill.
That's crazy.
And, yo, he made him wait until he felt like giving it back.
That's fucked up.
I was already wild in the streets, in the projects and all that. I had my thing on me, so I was like, if this nigga come over here, kneecap, bow, little 25. I had the little 25 automatic joint. I think I only had like 2 bullets.
All God take is one and shit. But
Nah,
now
he's a big dude. He's a big dude. I was like, I'm gonna shoot him in his knee, man, just to make sure. Because he looked like he'll take.
I just want to puncture him, man.
He looked like he'll take your lunch, man. Nah, he was a wild bully, but he was a cool dude. But he was a wild bully, man.
So, Nines, who's your top 5?
I can't even do that because
no. As your inspiration to become 9 and shit. When you're
Grandmaster Caz. That's it. Stops right there. That's who made me want to rap.
I remember
when I heard Cold Crush 4, 13 years old, that was it. And Grandmaster Caz was the leader. He was the captain of the 4. I mean, I knew those rhymes back and forth, like 4. I mean, I'm good friends with Caz now. I spent a lot of time with him, too. We did a play together at the Apollo. And I used to pick him up every morning for rehearsal. So I know he used to get tired of me, man, because I used to be like, yo, where'd you get this one right here from? And this song and this song. But he ain't care because I was getting up at 7:30 to pick his ass up. You got to tell me some stories, nigga. So, but that was it. Caz. Like, that made me want to rap. Everybody else I loved. I got my top 10, top 5, whatever. But I always wanted to be nothing like anything I ever heard. Like, I thought that's what you were supposed to do. You were supposed to come into hip-hop and add to it. Like, you know, I was never going to be a Dang. No disrespect to Dang, but come on. You know what I mean? Like, I used to ask myself sometimes, yo, how does he sleep at night? You know, when you know, like,
that's so real.
You just straight biting. You just riding another nigga's jaw right in front of us. Like, I never understood that shit. Like,
I don't understand it either.
How you want to sound like somebody?
And they was boys too. That was, I mean.
And I love Dane to Dane too.
I like Dane too. Dane's a cool dude, and I told him myself when I did a show in Cleveland and he was there and shit. Oh, this is the night I actually thought I had a chance to smash Shantae. Word. I'm sorry, that's off subject. It just reminded me of that night.
Shantae, hope you ain't watching this shit.
I was trying hard too, man. I was in there and she was like, listen, I'm not going to your hotel. I was like, come on, I just want to talk hip hop with you. Yeah. Nothing worked. Nothing worked. And I don't know why. I just wanted to do it so I could say I did it.
Nine, you told me like a long time ago, you said there's 4 horsemen hip hop. And you said Caz, and you said 3 other people and shit.
Damn.
I mean, you said Kumo D, Melly Mel, and Busy B that runs the whole everybody around from them 4.
Well, I think every style sprouts from one of those 4 gentlemen. You know, the party style, getting the crowd going crazy, that's Busy B. He owned that. Like, he introduced that, you know. Kumo D with the complex, no pun, Mr. Complex, but the complex rhyme flows. And what we used to say, he used a lot of big words. When we were kids, like, you know, Kumo D used the big words.
That's who turned me on.
And Melly Mel had the emotion. Like, when he spit, like, when he was rhyming, he was, oh, you don't know, like, you felt that shit. He was like, oh, my God. No, I felt it. I don't know if any, you know, how you felt when you heard Melly Mel, you know, when he would rhyme, especially not even just the message, but that other song they had for the B Street record. He was like, oh, Canal, John was in. I was in there, like, you could feel him. So I believe, and Grandmaster Caz just was all style. So I think it all comes from those four people. Like, I think everything sprouts. Like, we all versions in some way or another. Even if you don't sound like him, if you lyrical, then you a son of Kumo D. If you're aggressive with it, you a son of Melly Mel. If you're a party animal, you a son of Busy B. You know?
Yeah, that's like that reminds me of like the 6 degrees of separation, the Kevin Bacon theory.
Right.
Like somehow, some way, you know somebody that knows somebody that knows somebody.
Like, it's real, you know, because I mean? it's a variation of, and I think that exists in every musical art form. Like, a lot of jazz players, they're a growth from there's different styles. And the person that introduces a certain style, even if you take his style to another level, you still are a seed from that tree. You know what I mean?
every pianist is
See, because they
directly
didn't have
tied to
nobody. They
Beethoven.
didn't have nobody to learn from or
Mm.
copy from. They
Yeah.
didn't have nobody to bite. Like there was nobody. They came up with that shit that they do. They were the only ones. They were the first. You know, the alpha with that shit. So that's why I got nothing but respect for them. I'm glad to be friends with, especially with Melly Mel and Grandmaster Caz. I hung out with Busy B. You know who else is a real cool dude, man? PSK. If you ever get a chance to hang out with PSK, making that green. One of the coolest dudes in the world. Funny as hell, too, man.
Who, Schoolie D?
Yeah, Schoolie.
Okay.
He the coolest nigga in the world, man. I got high with him and Busy B filming this Chuck Chill Out TV pilot that never came out. It's like a game show. But, you know, they shoot a couple pilots, then they try to shop it around. So he had me up there. He had Schoolie D up there. Busy B came through with liquid weed and shit. Nigga had liquid weed, dog.
Yeah.
I shit you not. He put that little shit in the fucking shot glass. I was like, go ahead. Bang.
That's crazy.
Yeah, man. Busy B. Busy motherfucking B.
That shit hit different too. I don't know.
And the nigga Melly Mel is still like, he's still a cool, but he's mad diesel now. Like, you know, niggas mad big. Like he's a short dude, but Melly Mel is real muscular and shit. So when we get to the venue and shit, this nigga had like a little suitcase and all this shit. Yo, he went upstairs, he pulled out an iron, took out his suit, started ironing it. Like, yo, when he came downstairs, I swear he looked like one of the Temptations. He had the glitter tux jacket on. The nigga was fat. I was like, yo. He was like, yo, Nine, where your shit at? I was like, nigga, I'm wearing it.
Yeah.
So I left the house. He said, well, why you ain't at least take the shirt off in the car, man? So it wouldn't get. I said, Mel, can I use your Iron Man? He's like, yo, go upstairs and iron that shit. He would not let me go on TV with this shit on. He was like, yo, that shit wrinkled, man. Go upstairs and iron that shit.
Yeah. That's
he was
the
like,
kind
you young niggas don't understand the presentation is half the battle.
Yeah. That's the kind of dude that's the kind of dude that you could be wearing your freshest shit, and then all of a sudden he's standing next to you like, damn, I'm a bum, yo. Like,
he was wearing some shit I would have never worn no matter what you like.
Yeah, but even still.
What are you talking about?
But even still, you know what I mean?
That nigga had the sparkly tuxedo. Somebody, Busy B, told me he looked like Zorro when he came downstairs. He said, nigga, you look like Zorro. Niggas was snapping. It was hilarious. Like, once we got comfortable, because we spent the whole day together. Like, we got there like 11 o'clock. We didn't get to leave till almost 9:30 at night. So niggas was there together all fucking day. So they had free liquor and, you know, we had the weed. So you start to become friends. And next thing you know, the snapping contest broke out. And Dr. Dre was there. Not Dre from Compton, but from Ed Lover. Y'all know he's blind now.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't even know that shit. No.
He's been blind for about 8 years now. He didn't put it out until about 3 years ago. But when I was around, like, he's been blind. And they cut off half his foot, like.
Diabetes.
You know, yeah, but you wouldn't know it if you spent any time with him. I left there feeling blessed because I was like, I felt so sorry for him. But within like 3 hours, you wouldn't even know that this man had been through that or that he couldn't see no more. His spirit was so strong still. You know what I mean? He was just happy to be there and be a part. And he was listening when niggas was talking. He's like, if I hear my name, I'm going to get up and put this half a foot in your ass. Like, he was saying shit like that, you know?
I never even knew that shit. That's crazy. Like, wow.
Yeah, he had a handler. He had somebody that had to that be with him all the time to help him change his clothes and just walk and guide him because he still has a cane. He's still pretty overweight. Like, you know, he's been through a lot, man. A lot of people don't know about, you know, what happened to him.
That's amazing. That's amazing though, that he had a strong spirit after all that, because you know what I mean?
Yeah,
some people just lay down after that, and the fact that he's still just loving every breath he takes is beautiful. You know what I mean?
Some people hang up. They can't even go through it. They just, you know, they just hang up. But he was like, he said, I can still hear. He said if I had a choice, I'd take the ears over the eyes. He said he got a memory, so he still remembers everybody, what they look like, you know, but he would not want to be able not to hear, because then he couldn't hear the music.
Yeah, that's real.
He needs the music. He said he needs the music more than he needs to see, which was some deep shit, you know, to me. He said I need the music more than I need to see.
Yeah.
Made you think, like, what would you choose? You know, you don't want to choose either, but you know.
Yeah, I was always wondering if you could choose your eyesight in hearing or being handicapped. You know what I'm saying? Like, boom, and not being able to walk and shit.
Well, that's my biggest fear, is not being able to see. Like, I want to be able to see. If I couldn't hear, I just touch the speaker, I get the vibrations and shit, whatever. You know, but I want to be able to see, you know. I like looking.
Got the
I like
nine
looking
lives
at.
eyes and shit. Like, yeah,
But nah, I like titties and ass too much. To never see it again would just be horrible.
Feel
You
it.
know?
Real.
I gotta see that.
Yeah, but so yo, I mean, we can continue, but I'm gonna end the show right now, the recording part and shit, yo. And I appreciate.
You over? Fuck you, mean continue?
All right, let's continue. Let's go. But y'all got to say.
Show's over. Yo, thanks for having us, Stress.
The show's not over. I'm just saying, stop the recording. You don't want to have like a 4 hours, right? We got 2 hours right now. Like, boom.
Oh, good. You can shut it down, like, you know. But that's it.
No, but we can still talk. I mean, it's all
no, I don't want to still talk.
All right. We gonna. Yo, Nine, tell me your experience when you went to California. I want to know when you said you went out there, you did your shows and shit. You talk about it earlier, like.
Oh man, I can't repeat that. You should have been recording.
Yeah, that's
just know this. Well, we grown men now, so we all move a lot different. But for all the young dudes, man, like, you know, it's unfortunate what happened to that kid Pop Smoke.
Yeah, man.
You know, it's unfortunate, but like,
rest in peace.
Different cities, man, is different ways they move, it's different slang, it's different everything. So you gotta watch what you're saying on these records, man, because when they hear that shit, man, they come to your show and them niggas will kill you, yo.
Yo, how you feel about Tekashi 6ix9ine? I hate to even bring that name up because I don't want this motherfucker to have any more shine than he already does.
Because that's more current to talk about. But I'm glad you said that, because listen, I don't blame that kid for nothing he did, man. You know who I blame? The nigga that put him on and let him run around. Now, you know, I'm not racist, but I'm a realist, and I'm no longer going to hold back or bite my tongue. You had a Mexican kid out here hopping around as a member of a Bloods black gang, perpetrating all of the viles and evils that gang life, not just on records, but in person. He was on the internet telling grown men to suck his dick. He was but the people around him allowed that shit to continue as long as they was getting a check.
Yeah.
They was punking him. I do believe they was extorting him. I believe all
for real.
Now,
100%.
What did you expect him to do? When they met him, his name was Danny. He was working he was a bus boy. That's not even a hustler's job. Like, you know what I'm saying? I don't know about you, brothers, but I'm going to find something else to do other than running around, you know, bringing people their plates and shit. Order number 3, pick it up. Like, I'm not with that. So he's far from gangster, so they knew that already. So when they got jammed up, what did they think he was going to do? What?
Nah, and that's the thing. He was always a civilian.
He's going to tell. It's not even about being a civilian or not snitching. He's just, because a lot of gangster niggas snitch. Nicky Barnes snitched.
Yep. That's true.
Outpost snitched. And I hear a lot of people being mad, like, they think that being a snitch changes who you're. Outpost's a murderer. He killed 16 people.
That you know about.
You call him a snitch in his face? Would you call Outpost a snitch if you saw him and he was walking down the street and you saw Outpost? Would you be like, oh, you that snitch? Would you do that? He's still a killer. Let's remember.
No, sir.
No, sir. He snitched because a snitch is a person who does not want to face the consequences of what they've done. So they want to pass off the responsibility and get lesser punishment for themselves. That's all a snitch is. It doesn't define, you know, you know, all these people talking about Tekashi broke the code. You know, he should be out of hip hop. First of all, this ain't the hip hop that we knew. And them little white kids that buy his records, they don't give a fuck if he told on who he told on.
Yeah.
They don't give a fuck.
No, they don't care. That's why there was always a debate for a long time. Is he still going to have a career? If he is,
I knew he was.
Be able to,
I had no doubt in my mind when that nigga get out, watch him sell 1 million records, watch him pop off. I knew that shit.
Yeah, because he spent his whole existence being a troll. You know what I mean? So nobody would expect nothing less. But I mean, but even then, like, it's just like I do believe more than ever though he can't go nowhere, not without a full fucking security team. He can't go nowhere.
I think that's another misconception. I think that we're giving these dudes too much power. Like, listen, they already got dudes that's locked up, right, doing 10, 15 years and shit like that. Do you think that a street dude out here is going to kill a government witness? You just killed the FBI witness for snitch. What you think's going to happen to you? Because they're going to catch you if you shoot them. What you think's going to happen to you if one of these dudes from the gang actually does get a chance to retaliate? What you think the government?
Yeah, but you can't count out the martyrs. So there's always somebody out there that's willing to take the L.
Yeah, that's true.
You know what I mean?
I don't think anybody could get close to him. I think he's gonna have security up the ass.
Yeah, well, that's what I meant by that. You know what I'm saying? Like he can't go. He can't go outside. You know what I'm saying? Like it's especially if he's in certain environments, in certain situations. I don't think he could go outside.
Oh no, he can't go to Harlem. He can't come walking. I don't think he could perform at the Apollo. I think they'll shoot that shit up. They don't care who's there. I think, but as long as he stays away from areas where they are, like he's a concert artist. Like he's not a dude who's gonna be performing, you know, in Manhattan at the little spot where you can catch him coming out the back door. It's not like that. He's gonna be.
He used to, but he used to have back though.
Now he's Madison Square Garden. He's one of them big concert venues, which is not even happening right now. I mean, I'm curious to see, you know, how far they let this go. But you know, I don't know, because I have mixed emotions about the whole snitching thing. You know.
Yeah. I mean, there's honor in not selling out your people.
I'll snitch the cops. I'll snitch on a cop in a second. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, exactly. There's levels to this shit.
Okay.
I'm glad you said that, Stress, because there is levels to this shit. You know what I mean? Because
like, cop and shit. If a cop do some fucking shit, I'll snitch on a cop. I don't give a fuck.
But it's still, snitching though. You know what I mean? But I agree with you because I think I would do the same shit. You know what I'm saying?
Telling on a cop.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I'm also gonna tell on the drunk driver who ran over that 3-year-old girl when I was outside and I saw it happen. I'm telling on him too.
Yeah.
And if you call me a snitch, then bring it to me and I'll show you what the deal is. Because if you're a rapist and I know you raped somebody, I'm telling on you.
Yeah.
Either that or I become Batman and I handle it myself. So if I'm not gonna come Batman and come hang you out of a window and all that shit, and I'm not gonna kill you because I'm not going to fucking prison for some stranger, but I know you out here raping women and shit like that, I'm not gonna pick up the phone like, yo, this nigga's raping chicks. He's dragging them in the alley and cutting their bras off, and like you wouldn't tell on a dude like that.
So would you do a song? Would you do a song with 6ix9ine?
I wouldn't do a song with 6ix9ine before he snitched.
How do you feel about the ones doing songs with him?
Well, Nicki Minaj and Akon, that's the ones I know about.
Yeah.
I think Akon just feels so powerful. He's about to have his own city in Africa. I can't even really say.
That's fucking dope.
They got Akon City they building. He's on another planet. He's looking at niggas like, man, whatever. Snitch.
Nah, but fuck that snitch shit, but that's dope. He got his own fucking, that's dope.
And Nicki, she's just trying to stay alive. She sees her days is numbered, like it comes out of nowhere, but Cardi B was the beginning of the end for her. So she's just trying anything she could do to hang on and try to snatch up a couple more million before they send her out to fucking plastic surgery heaven. You know? So she'll do a record with anybody. She'll do, but like, you know, I wasn't a Tekashi fan. To me, he sounded like Onyx. To me, I don't know how y'all feel.
Federal, yeah.
But he rapping like Onyx. It was just a look. He's like a cartoon character, and little kids liked him. And you know,
coloring his hair and all that shit, that crazy shit.
And then he was talking the opposite of how he looked, which is definitely a good psychological trick. You know, to pull on people when you look like the Joker, but you sound like Tyson. It's like you're talking like Tyson, but you look like Mary Poppins. You know, it just works.
I will say this though, as a teacher, like to see how the kids respond to him. You know, like you said, there's not a lot of honor in whatever he's doing, and regardless how he was handled or manipulated.
Right.
You know, at some point you kind of you get in that position, but you know you still got to play the part. He played the part hard.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's just hard seeing like kids that I know, if they did that behavior,
what grade you teach?
It's gonna end badly for them. I'm talking about kids from Monroe, kids from Castle Hill, kids from Soundview. That's why. And it's like if y'all try to do that, like if y'all really go about your life and try to emulate and use some of that as, and some of them really look up to him, that is what scares me. Because if a little white kid in the suburbs, they're gonna they're gonna be like, yo, that's rebellious. But
don't get me wrong. I hope one day he opens up a restaurant door and the whole 9 Trey Bloods is sitting in there already waiting. I hope he does pay for what he's done, his part in it, his culpability.
He's gonna grow old, so he's gonna have to. You're like, yo, you know what I'm saying?
Well, like Breeze just said though, like, you know, he was definitely playing a part in it. He knew what was going. He was causing some of the issues. You know, he was just the one that's going to pay the most taxes. So that's who they get to snitch. See, they let him go free. He snitched on everybody because he's worth more to the United States of America than the other gang members, because he's going to do shows. He's going to make $2 million, $10 million, and he's going to pay $5 million in taxes. He's worth more to be free than the other guys are. So, they, you know, he's a cash cow. They get half your money. The government is pimps. They put out, they let the hoe that bring the most dough in stay on the street. Them hoes that ain't making no money, they throw them in a cage and make money off them another way. Got you making license plates and stitching up jeans and so, you know, when you call certain airlines to book a flight, there be some nigga locked up. He's like, yeah, okay, and what seat would you like? It's a nigga in a cage getting 25 cents.
Yeah.
Yo,
so
Breeze.
Slave labor.
Yo, Breeze, what grade do you teach?
High school, 11th and 12th graders.
Oh shit! All right, before they're gonna graduate, that's dope.
Yeah. So they're on the brink of being men, if not men already, in their own, you know.
You get a lot of knuckleheads that try to test you and all that shit. And
So 9.
Yo,
9.
You have to battle your students.
They probably don't even know he raps. You probably know Breeze. He probably don't even say that shit. He's like,
on the low, like every so often, rhyming. I may rhyme with them just to rhyme with them, and then it's like it's a big deal, and then you forget about it.
That's
you know, yo, Breeze. You know, your brother FaceTime me because Kev is a teacher too. He FaceTime me from his classroom playing "What You Want" for the kids to see and improve this. And when I saw it was FaceTime, I'm like, Kev never FaceTimes. So I clicked. These kids are standing there. He's like, there he goes. I just woke up and so I was like, yo, what the fuck? And I hear the record in the background. He was like, yo, tell these kids if they keep doing what they need to do, that they could make it too. I was like, I don't even look like the dude in the video. He said, no, just rhyme along with it. So I started like, I get band. The kids like, oh, shit. It was cool.
What grade he teaches? What grade Kev teaches?
Middle school. He like 7th and 8th grade.
Yeah, they were like 7th graders.
Shout out to Kev, man. I'm gonna keep saying I love that brother, man. Shout out to Kev.
You can't get him to do this, so don't even try it.
I tried to call him, he answered the phone and shit.
That nigga would have been asleep by now. There would have been a blank spot with his name under it for like the last hour. And then he would have came back like, yo, what's up, what's good, with a blunt in his mouth.
Yeah, Compass, I tried to get Spinner, but he's not responding to me. I don't know how, if you don't respond to his media, I don't know.
Yeah, he's like all over the place.
Not everybody likes you, Stress.
You might be actually fucking correct, but I don't understand why. But you might be correct.
Yeah.
Everybody likes everybody, so like, yo, fuck it.
I used to tell you who to watch out for, though. I used to tell you.
Well, I know who not to watch out for, but I'm not.
You would always come back to me and say, "Yo, you was right, man. That dude is an
exactly.
asshole."
I'll say one story. I'll say one story. One story that I was trying to get Kane in the subterranean movie and shit. And I had Granddaddy IU on the phone, and I put him on the phone with him. And I said, yo, I was like, here, talk to him. And he's like, yo, I'm trying to get an interview with him. And then he gave me back the phone, and I went like this. And Kane looked at me and fucking walked away. And I was, you know how fucking that fucked me up? Because I fucking was a Kane fan. I was like, damn, this motherfucker hurt my feelings. I'm like,
so he left you hanging?
Yeah, yo, I was like this and shit. And he just looked at me and then walked away and shit. Yeah, yo. And that shit hurt the fuck out of me. You know what I mean? Because I was a Kane fan, like, yo, and I bought records and did everything, supported him. And, you know, you told me this a while. Like,
you need to meet LL Cool J if you want to feel small.
I never nothing.
You shake that nigga hand, he's looking at Cuba while he's shaking your hand. Like, he's not even paying attention. You can tap that nigga on his shoulder 5 seconds after you talk to him and he'll go, oh, hey, what's up, man? He'll turn around, you tap him again, he goes, oh, hey, what's up, man? Like the Matrix clip. That nigga don't see you. He looks right through you. Like,
yeah.
But I don't blame him, man. He's never had a job. He had a paper route. The nigga had a hit record at 15 years old. He's never been broke. He doesn't know what it's like to get his cell phone cut off. You don't know what I'm saying? You don't know none of that shit. Him and Bow Wow, they don't know nothing about struggling as a man. So
Bow Wow know about that shit now.
Now he knows, he's learning. He's learning, right? They coming to take some of them cars away, but he's still been rich since he was 5, though.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
How you expect him to act when he's around men? Like, to me, you got to go through some kind of struggle, you know, and L has never struggled.
Yeah, it definitely builds character. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because, like, I mean, for me, like, I started seeing my own bread at, like, the age of 7, 8. I used to work on everybody in the neighborhood's bikes and shit like that. I was the only one who was, like, mechanically inclined. So your chain fall off, you come see me. You know what I mean? You got a flat tire? All right, I might have a spare, you know what I mean? Because I used to go to yard sales and buy, you know, with my brothers and uncles and pops and all that. And that was it. Detailing cars, raking leaves, shoveling driveways. Like, I always, because I mean, I came from a family of 9. There was 9 of us. My parents didn't have no extra bread. You know what I'm saying? To throw at you like that. So I had to create a lane for myself. You know what I'm saying? So like it does.
So a pack of cookies in your crib was like last like 10 minutes.
Yo, man, yo, real talk. My parents used to lock up like the snacks and shit, yo. Real talk. They used to lock it up.
Wow.
Yeah, no, but Kane did actually do the interview with me another time and shit. You know what I mean? Because I met his manager, and the thing is, like, I approached Kane with the phone, like, yo, here's IU. So he might have looked at me like, who the fuck is this? You know what I'm saying? Like, boom.
You gotta understand though, one thing I do give brothers a pass for, like, if you did that and he's Big Daddy Kane, imagine how many times that shit happened to him that night or that week or that month. You know, after a while it can get crazy, right?
Or that lifetime.
If dudes are just coming up to you all the time, everybody want a picture, they want to interview, and he's not even in like the eye like that. He does, you know, his retro shows and stuff. So it's like after a while, these guys have been adored for so long that sometimes it turns into annoyance, you know?
That's what I'm saying. You know 9 people come up.
That's why I never asked a nigga for a picture. I don't give a fuck who you are.
I'm gonna say a story about 9 one time. I have to say it. Yo, he was at a house, Desi joint, right? I gotta say the story. Yo, I gotta say the story. Can I say it, 9? Can I say it?
As long as you let me explain the preview.
You can say it after. Yo, there was this dude. We went to my homegirl's Desi's crib.
Desi the lesbian. We told Stress to get some girls. He brought a bunch of lesbians to his crib for us.
Let me say the story though. We was in there.
Disgusting.
We walked in there. Yo, come here. He was her roommate or something. I don't remember.
Yeah, it's her roommate.
He's like, come here. He's like, yo, I can't believe Nine's in my fucking crib right now. I can't believe this shit. We just went to Razzles. We met Cuban Links. We was chilling. He knew Cuban Links. You know what I mean? Like, boom. So we was over there, and he was like, yo, he's like, I rhyme. I said, yo, go say a rhyme for him. Let me hear something.
Stupid.
And I walk over there. He's staring. I'm like, yo, do it. He's like, and Nine's like, stop. Don't ever do that shit again and shit. And I was like, I don't know if Rocko was there. And shit.
Nah, Rocko wasn't there.
Yo, I'm sorry, yo. My apologies and shit. And then,
yo, this dude, yo, Breeze. This dude was horrible. Like it was. I thought it was a joke, but then he kept going. So I was like, yo, don't ever do that shit again in front of nobody.
Yeah.
I said my entire fucking vision of you and what is twisted forever. Like if I ever see you somewhere again, you're gonna be the clown ass fool who was trying to rap. I said that's who you're gonna be forever. So don't do that shit in front of nobody else if you want them to have any respect for you. I was honest with dude. I was like, yo, don't do that shit, man. It was the worst shit I ever heard, man. I was like, he made Vanilla Ice sound like Biggie. That's how bad it was.
Yo, who was you with? You was with your, you was with, I don't know, it was JR and that big dude. I don't remember what his name was.
It was Castro.
Castro and another dude, the light-skinned dude.
His name was Nance Nichols. He was a producer.
Yeah, and they was laughing at the same time when you saw him. It's like, yo, don't ever do that shit again. And I was like, I didn't know. I was like, yo, go ahead, fucking say it. And I see you looking at me. I'm like, just do it. Let him hear it.
You knew. That's why you told me to do it. You knew. Just like your other man's at the crib. What's the other dude's name? Your roommate you used to live with?
Yeah, but shout out, that's my brother. That's Rocko's partner and shit.
Nah, not him. You had there was another dude there that was trying to spit.
Who?
I don't think he lived with you. He was there though. He came by or something. I can't remember his name. This is when I first came out there. Like this is a long time ago.
This is when Crumb was there and you met Crumb for the first time?
Nah. That was before that. Before Crumb.
Oh, okay. I don't fucking remember.
I can't remember, but he started rhyming, and then he got to the part where he usually says "nigga," but he realized that
that wasn't Nick. That wasn't Nick. Nah, that was
nigga went because yo, and if a I said, "Nah, go ahead." I said, "Go ahead." That wasn't
Nick. That wasn't Nick.
I said, "Go ahead and say it, man. Just know what comes with it, but go ahead, say it. You want to say it?" Then I was like, I told him I don't give a fuck what you say, man. I said, you just rapping.
That's when you start sprinkling the baby powder. Like, go ahead.
See, that's what I wanted him to know. That word doesn't have any power over me whatsoever. If you're a white guy and you say the word nigga around me, depends on how you're saying it. I'm really not gonna pay you that much attention. I'm gonna wonder why you felt so comfortable to say it, but that would be it. I'm not gonna turn into the Incredible Hulk. Oh, you got
that's the whole thing
power
about
that they have over us. That power don't work. That's why we use the word, was to diffuse that power.
Mm-hmm.
So if you walk in and a white guy goes, "Hey, my nigga," or something, you're gonna be like, "You said nigga." Like,
no, you know what it is? It's the hard R. That's the one that stings.
It's because I told people you could just call me stupid and get punched in the face. It depends on how you say it. You be like, "You stupid," I'm punch you in the mouth. You say, "You nigga," I'm gonna punch you in your mouth. You say, "You asshole," I'm gonna punch you in your mouth. Pick the word. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
If I feel you violating me, I might punch you in the mouth. I never tell a nigga, I never tell another grown man I'm gonna fuck you up, because that's not determined. What is determined is I'm gonna punch you in your mouth. What happens after that depends. You might know kung fu and fucking. I'm not gonna tell you I'm gonna fuck you up. But I am gonna punch you in your mouth. That's a definite. Never tell another man you're gonna fuck him up, because then you have to. You know what I'm saying? Tell him you're gonna punch him in the mouth. That's a fact. So.
Yo, Breeze, you got, I mean, you in the Bronx, you got white students too at the same time over there in the
Ah.
Hell no.
He
Tell
said,
him where you teach.
I had 2 Albanian students this year. That was
Tell him where you teach at.
I teach in Stevenson, man. Stevenson High School, Soundview.
that's dope.
Soundview.
Respect.
Spanish and
That's money murder.
Out of the
Peter
maybe
Guns.
150 kids I teach, it's 2 Albanian kids.
Wow.
Albanians are, it's the
It's
base.
still Albania is still considered black, right? It's still, but it's just light
I
skin.
mean,
Nah.
not in my school, but I don't know if the regular white person is.
Kim Kardashian's Albanian.
Nah. I'm actually
ain't
real
black.
good.
Oh, for real?
One of my really good friends. Hold up. One of my really good friends is Albanian, and he's not associated with none of that. But he's a real dope person. They're good people, man. They're very, very loyal.
I mean,
Oh no, they get treated like white niggas by white people.
Yeah, I don't think the regular white person in Scarsdale's like, hey, I have.
They don't fuck with them either, so they came to us because nobody else fucks with them.
Isn't Brother Ali Albanian?
Who's Albanian?
Brother Ali, the rapper, brother.
He might be either that or
Action Bronson, fucking Albanian.
Action Bronson's Albanian.
Yeah,
that nigga white.
In my school, they white.
Brother Ali is white, and so is fucking Action Bronson.
Yeah.
I
love Action Bronson, but he's a white dude.
If Action Bronson said, "Let's go overseas and we're gonna eat and get paid and be on the," you're like, "I'm gonna get paid. Let's go." Like go for real. I'll do that shit all day because he does that fucking delicious shit. What's that shit? Fuck, that's delicious.
Yeah.
You don't even rap no more. You making so much money doing that shit.
Yo, that's some dope shit.
He look out for his people, though. Look at Mayhem Lauren. Am I saying his name right?
Yeah. Mayhem Lauren and
he pulled that nigga with him. Like that was his man from
bringing Alchemist with him too and shit. And Alchemist is dope.
I mean, I got love for Action Bronson. He showed me love on the radio when he got interviewed. He was talking about
that's right.
Yeah, you always bring up somebody I got love for just musically. I mean, I think he's dope. My only little chink I have.
Ghostface shit.
Yeah, but I think everybody's got that same thing in the back of the head. Like,
see, it's different when you sound like somebody, but when you start pronouncing words like them and shit, then it's like,
But I think it was with Nine because Nine been through it when he was on the other side of the fence or somebody.
Nah, but DMX didn't rap like me. He didn't use word. He wasn't going, I'm DMX. He wasn't doing that. It's different. He just had to sound. He wasn't like, I'm going to say words the way this person says it. Like that kid, your old Droog dude.
I remember you
Nas
dude.
I thought he was Nas for a whole summer.
I thought he was Nas for like about 3 months.
That first album, right? When you never seen what he looked like. I was texting fucking Eclipse, fucking AG. I was asking, is this fucking like? No, it's not him. I'm like, okay. I'm like, this is Nas or not? Like, I didn't know. Like, yo.
My problem is he won't own up to it or admit it. He won't.
Yeah.
He won't just say, "Yo, I'm not only heavily influenced by Nas, but I want to be Nas." Like, you got to tell us. You got to just say it.
I mean, it's the same thing when Pun saw G Rap. He kissed the ring and shit. Like, he went and down and respected him. When he
Pun style doesn't even come from G Rap. It comes from Geechee Sway from Camp Low. I don't know if y'all remember Lucchini, but think about the opening bars of Lucchini. The way Geechee Sway was rapping.
Where does they shit come from?
Well, they the first I ever heard doing it, so it comes from them. It's his shit.
Yeah, I remember back when
I love Pun. Pun's my friend, actually. Was my friend, rest in peace. But I'm gonna just tell you what it is. I'm gonna tell you what it is.
I think speaking in Complex, I think Pharoah Monch is very fucking dope too, yo. I think he's very dope. Like,
yep.
I think Pharoah Monch, what he does and the way he started it, I think he's.
If Pharoah was white, he would have been rich by now. He'd have sold 20 million albums by now.
I think he might destroy Eminem on that first song against him.
That's my whole point. Like,
yeah.
As far as difficulty rap and the way he, like, come on, man.
You know what's funny is that I had a conversation with somebody years ago about how they thought that Tech Nine and Pharoah Monch have they're from different coasts but have the most in common in terms of delivery, and I was like, damn, interesting. So now I want to ask y'all, like, how do you feel about that?
I think it's disrespectful.
Do you draw any parallels?
I think it's disrespectful to the greatness of Pharoah Monch. That's how I feel.
I mean, I felt a way about it. I don't even want to speak about it.
I don't think Tech
However,
Nine is whack.
I'm just curious.
I don't think Tech Nine is whack. I got to talk to him once. He thought I was gonna be mad at him because of the 9 shells. Again, that's a number anybody can use. But to put him in the same sentence with Pharoah was like kind of crazy to me. Cause like, there's not many.
Go ahead.
I mean, Pharoah's one of a kind, but I mean, he do shit that the average motherfucker's not even gonna understand, like the stuttering. When he's like, he does shit that's just for other rappers. I believe he does shit just for other MCs to hear what he's doing, so we at least will appreciate it. I think there's nobody like him.
I think that's one of the things that goes over into like the artistry. It's just like doing it for the pure art form and to like make an impression upon your peers, but at the same time have that swag, like you don't give a fuck what anybody think.
Being a dope rapper and making songs is 2 different things. We all know that. Some of the greatest dudes ever just don't know how to put a song together that resonates outside of their circle.
You can do it both. You can do it both and be an MC at the same time. That's the fucking circle.
Well, that's called hard work. That's what you're supposed to be doing as an artist. You're supposed to be figuring out how to become a better songwriter, how to become more catchy. That's part of the job. That's part of the craft. Like, you know, it don't just happen just because you could rap. A lot of dudes could rap. A lot of dudes could fight. A lot of dudes could play ball, but they're not in the NBA, and they better than some NBA dudes, but they're not in shape. They're not consistent. You know what I'm saying? They don't take care of themselves. They don't have. So, you know, a lot of boxers, too, they can fight, but for 3 rounds. Then he's dead tired. He has no discipline to train himself. So it's work that goes into whatever you do. You got to become better once you make it there, once you get there.
Yo, Nine, I got a question for you real quick, and this is way off topic. But what's that shirt you're wearing right now?
Oh, this is the producer's corner.
Wow.
I love it.
Word up.
I was sweating up my Black Lives.
Freeze, I gotta get you guys shirts, man. I gotta get you guys shirts.
I was wearing my Black Lives Matter shirt. That shit, I started sweating it up. I'm trying to wear that shit again tomorrow. So
laundry ain't due until Sunday, right?
Laundry ain't done yet, so I got it.
Yo, Complex, hit me with your numbers in the Instagram joint. Yo, Complex, how does it feel? Like, I know you came up with Pharoah, so you saw him grow in that shit.
Yo, Pharoah's nasty.
You know what I mean? That's Complex's peoples. Like, they came.
He's amazing.
Bro, when I first heard that first Organized Confusion album, both the niggas was nuts.
Yeah.
I never heard no shit like that before. I had the cassette. I was like, yo, do you hear this shit? The way these niggas is rhyming? This shit is fucking nuts. Like, it was just fucking nuts. Like, I never heard no shit like that. And it had the perfect name. It was Organized Confusion. It was just crazy. Yeah. But Poe's a good dude, too, man. I met him before, too.
I remember this kid I used to work with, straight hood dude, not into nothing crazy, but he was like, yo, I bought your boy's shit. It better not be whack. Spent my $10, whatever he spent. He came back like 2 days later. He had that whole shit like memorized. He was like, yo. I was like, holy shit.
That's what's up.
Yeah.
That's dope.
Yeah, but Pharoah's new shit coming, so crazy.
Crazy.
Damn.
Yeah, he goes overseas and he's like a god. I put up some footage of him doing Get the Fuck Up, and I watched that shit, gives me goosebumps. I know y'all know the one I'm talking about. When they had the mosh pit, he was outside, he was throwing water on people.
He's not he's fucking real alienated. He's dope, man. Like he's extra. He's dope, man.
Yo, when that album came out, that wasn't like one of my favorite songs, but he was straight after Organized, so he has bad asthma. So him rocking by himself, he was like, yo, I need you with me. So I used to be his hype man. And the first time was SOBs when Simon Says came on. And just the way the crowd, yeah, when that
The
was
fuck
crazy.
up, like word, yo.
Yeah, I was at the tunnel when that shit came on. Yeah.
Yeah. Was you there at the
Yo,
time?
there was a
Russell
side
there?
of the bar in the tunnel where if you was not really tough, you could stand over there.
Yeah.
When a record like that came on, you better be on the other side. Like,
We was talking about the tunnel.
Yeah.
We was talking about a couple weeks ago.
Last week.
I know Breeze and Complex, you guys been at the tunnel too, right? That shit was crazy, right? Like,
I
yo,
performed at Simon Says at the tunnel.
that is crazy. Like, yo,
Yeah.
yo, the tunnel.
insane. I was there when he did that shit there. It was crazy.
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah.
I remember.
Yo.
Yeah, Sticky Fingers was telling us about the tunnel when they had a uni toilet where men and women shared the toilet.
Yeah, that
bathroom.
unisex bathroom. Niggas was getting head in there, getting put. Niggas was in there fucking. It was crazy. That shit was crazy.
Yeah, Sticky's talking about he was smashing mad things over there and shit.
Yo, and if you had a record out, you couldn't wait to go there and just stand there till somebody recognized you and be like, come on. Take her right upstairs to the unisex bathroom and get busy.
Yeah.
And it'd be mad people already in there doing their thing. So you just try to find a spot. You close the door.
They didn't have no stalls with taking the shit. They didn't have the stalls in there.
Yeah, it's the doors. You close the door. It wasn't like an orgy in there. No.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It was the toilets wasn't out to take a shit.
I've seen some chicks though sitting on the sink with the nigga in front of them like they dancing, but he's really pounding it out. I've seen that before.
Yeah.
The tunnel was like, oh God, man.
The tunnel need a fucking documentary in its own world and shit, yo.
You had to take your shoes off. That shit was like going to visit somebody in Rikers Island. Shit's crazy. You had to take your shoes off.
Open your mouth.
Them niggas is grabbing your balls. They going all up in your stomach's not playing in there, yo. You got a gun in there.
They didn't have no females doing the searching when you was going in there?
Yeah, they was searching women.
No, but the
females
woman didn't search dudes and shit. They didn't have a woman doing. I'd rather have a
Yeah.
woman.
That's some big bull dykers.
I don't want no big dude grabbing me and shit. Like, yo.
If you wanted to go on, I mean, he ain't massaging and shit, but he definitely gonna smack there to see if you got it, because that's where you put the little 25 at.
Yeah.
Put the little 25 automatic, take it to your balls.
Yeah, I was probably putting out razors. They cut their tongue and all that shit and everything.
Open your mouth, razor blades, man. It ain't stop us. We still used to get the razors in. Everybody had, you know how to get a razor, and you could put that in your wallet or in the rubber of the sneaker. You could slice, that's Rikers Island shit. Before you go to the island, you gotta put some gem stars in your fucking, in your sneakers in some kind of way. You need something.
That shit crazy.
Spofford, you need something.
Okay, y'all brothers being from New York, what's the most wildest club in New York that's ever been in this time? Is it Tunnel?
The Tunnel.
In my experience, the Tunnel.
Y'all been, but you've been to Latin Quarters and fucking.
All that shit.
And you been to Fever? You and Breeze been to the Fever?
Been to the Fever.
Yeah.
Been to the Fever. I've been
to the Rooftop when I was a kid. All that shit.
What else they had out there? They had another.
There was some Queen spots. Complex. What was some like Queen spots?
What's the Queen spots?
We really have to. We had two clubs. I remember when Mike Geronimo beat Biggie in the battle up in there.
He beat what? What'd you say? He beat Biggie in what?
Battle. Mike
He
Geronimo.
beat Biggie in a battle? What?
Yeah. It wasn't so much I'm going at you. It was like you rhyme, I rhyme.
Damn, man, that sounds wow. That sounds to me like Pi May getting his ass kicked by the white girl he was teaching. That's how different. That's like Kill Bill to me. Like, I mean, I like Mike Geronimo, but to outrhyme Biggie, that must have been
let me ask, because you're from Jamaica, Queens. They saying I don't know shit because I wasn't born yet. Probably, and they saying that these hip hop shit started in Jamaica, Queens as the parties before Cool took it to the Bronx. I'm not fucking trying to say that's what I heard.
Why would you say some shit like that?
Because I see mad videos of this shit of happening this shit. Do you think Queens has a powerful like party impact to the Bronx at the same time?
There is no same time. And I'm not disrespecting Queens or anything. I grew up on 1350 Webster Avenue in the South Bronx. Before anything or anybody on the planet Earth, niggas was outside in 69, 70 with their fucking turntable playing Apache with niggas breakdancing on boxes and all that. That shit started right in the South Bronx. Period.
But you gotta remember, I'm in Connecticut, so I don't know. I'm right here. You know what I mean?
But you're supposed to know your history.
I do. I with Kaz and Wizard. Huh?
My mechanic is always talking about this one cat. I can't remember his name from Queens. My mechanic is always, yo, he the one, first one to rap. And I was like, who? And he says his name all the time. I forget his name. But he made a record way back before everybody.
I think you
But I remember going to the Bronx, bringing the Bronx Armory at like 14 years old with like 50 dudes from Queens. We all went up to the Bronx to see shows, and we saw Kaz. And I remember New Edition was supposed to perform with the Spot. That's how long ago. It was like 84, 85.
Wow.
It was my first time seeing a show. Jimmy Spice, it was $1 bill, y'all. $1 bill, y'all.
Right.
Put the dollar.
Yeah.
People were snatching the dollars, and it was like, that was my first experience. Queens didn't have any shows like that. We just had Paisley Park, you know, and a DJ get on, and some MCs come through, Mikey D.
Which
HBO,
one is Montebello Park?
Shout out to Mikey D.
Same park?
What'd you say?
Montebello Park? Is that the same
That's
joint?
a different park. Paisley Park is right near like Paisley Projects, Paisley Boulevard. You know,
I ain't say that to
cool.
I'm just saying what I heard.
I actually I met Mikey D. I was living in Rochdale, and my car was Mikey D. Who ended up being in May Source after Large Professor.
He knows Mikey. He comes out to his crib.
Oh, okay, yeah. He now what was it, like the LA crew?
Yeah.
LA Posse.
Main Source.
Yeah. And he was dumb cool. I remember I was always having car trouble. And he must have lived in the same building, like by Bedell, like 113. And I remember him coming down, like, yo, you need help? I'm like, he's like, yeah, you know, I'm like, yeah, you Mikey D. I mean, you know, I was a fan, you know.
At that time, got this fucking like, yo, I hear this from a lot of people, yo, for real.
Like, he was wild cool, like a good brother.
When Large Professor, when I did the subterranean shit, and they first met each other, Large Professor looked at him like, wow, Mikey D, I'll do the video chat. He went right next to him.
Mikey D destroyed Melly Mel for the rap championship battle at the New Music Seminar.
Yeah.
Destroyed Mel. And Mel got mad and ran on stage and snatched the belt from him and pushed him like, I'm the champ. I'm the, like, bullied him. But Mikey, it didn't matter. We all saw what happened. Like, Mikey, you know, this was a while ago, but, you know,
I think Mikey it was like 87 or 88 you're talking about, right?
Mel didn't really understand how to battle. He was just saying rhymes. Mikey was saying shit to him. Like, you know.
I know
how it goes.
I know that Nine got a story with him and Mike, and they was driving the fucking out here, and they was rhyming with each other the whole fucking time and shit. Remember?
3 hours in the car with this nigga. I was like, well, he stopped? Because I wasn't going to stop if he ain't stopped. And we rhymed all the way from the Bronx to Springfield, Massachusetts and shit. Rapping in the car. Like, he had rhymes for days. I was like, I had rhymes too. So I was like, yo, come on, let's go. He wasn't battling. But by the time we got maybe about an hour into it, then it started getting like, all right, this nigga trying to, is he trying to, you know, was he trying to do something like this? So it's like, now I'm gonna pull out the other stash, start going. Then he pull out the other stash. I'm like, and I remember he beat Melly Mel, so that's all I could think in the back of my mind. Like, if I wax this nigga ass, then I'm the champ. You know what I mean? But Mikey's my man, yo. Fly like a bird.
Now it's crazy that Complex and Bree said that shit, because that is my dude. That's actually my first rapper that I ever met in person. That was 1987. Like, he came out here to Enfield, Connecticut.
You was in Hartford a lot.
Yeah, and he fucking was rhyming in my basement, and I was like 16 years old, and I'm looking at him. I thought him and Johnny Quest is DJ, and he's on the turntables on my shit. And I look at these dudes, I'm like, wow, New York motherfuckers is here, and they're showing me what this shit is. You know what I mean? Like, yo, and it had me open this shit. You know what I mean? Like, boom, and then
Mikey was a rapping ass nigga, man. That
I
nigga
was
just
in Queens with Mikey D, so
that's a rapping ass nigga.
and he showed so much love. He showed so much love with his dudes be mad at him. Like, why you showing these Connecticut niggas so much love?
No, because every time I mention Nine name, like that's my dude. Michael say that shit every time to me and shit. You know what I mean? Like boom, and I want to see one time where I could get the brothers together. You know what I mean? Just on this kind of shit, not on doing music.
Yeah, when I was with him in Springfield too, you know, like I said, that was during my street days. Like I was a street nigga. I was selling drugs. I was carrying pistols. So you know, a few niggas tried us up there. That's when I realized, you know, Springfield, Mass is not really a place to go if you don't really know nobody and you're from New York. Because everybody just hate New York niggas. I don't know why, man. Every time we used to go somewhere, they would just be like, they want to hear you rap and stuff, but after that, then niggas want to rob you or punk you or something. It was always crazy. It was some New York every time. Like, you know, I don't know about if you was established, but we was just some underground niggas, you know, trying to get on. But dudes was like trying to see if we was tough or not, you know?
How far is that from Hartford?
Where I'm at, I'm like 15 minutes. Rocco's closer to Hartford. Rocco's probably like, what, 5 minutes, right? 10 minutes from Hartford?
It's
still
wild in Springfield too, right?
I'm Springfield, Hartford in the middle of that shit.
I'm saying, is it still wild out there?
Springfield's fucking crazy. I don't know how.
Mikey D.
Springfield's crazy with the fucking Spanish shit, all that shit over there and shit. You know, it's crazy over there. I mean, with this coronavirus shit, I don't know what the fuck's going on.
No, I don't mean like today. I just mean is it still super violent, super like, because they were very active out there on some violent shit. Like every show I did out there, shit got shot up or it got shut down before.
The Prodigy shit happened over there where Prodigy
I was there. I did the show with Mobb Deep. I saw the whole shit.
Yeah, but we're not gonna talk about it. You know what I mean?
No, I'm not gonna. That's definitely in the book. You got to buy the book for that one. Rest in peace, Prodigy.
It's wild everywhere. It's a hood everywhere. It's crazy dudes everywhere.
It's different though. It's different. Like it's so impoverished. You know what I mean? In the whole area. So it's wild out here, but it's sections of wildness out here. It's not everywhere. Like everywhere I went to in Springfield was wild. It was wild.
Springfield, Massachusetts, Springfield from Holyoke. They go down to Worcester to fucking what's the other spot that Crum was from? Before it gets to Boston and shit. Worcester, where was that shit? Worcester and where else? That's another part. Lawrence. Worcester, Lawrence, fucking Boston. It gets to fucking, you know, where Guru and them's from. You know what I mean? LOG and all them, you know what I mean? Like we in Connecticut, we in the middle of New York and the shit. We never got our props besides Steezo, the Skinny Boys, and the Apathy and Blackistan. We never had nothing else besides that. Because we just in the middle of this shit. You know what I mean? So it's like,
what you think it is with Connecticut? Why nobody really?
I don't fucking.
As big as Connecticut is, you can go there.
We're small. We're one of the small states in the country.
I'm not talking about Enfield. I'm talking about Connecticut is not small.
Connecticut is really small.
It's small.
How come every time I drive out there, it takes fucking forever?
Doctors by the casinos. You just buy fucking, you know, all that. You just over there and shit. You know what I mean? Like New London area. We're not really that big. Connecticut is very fucking small.
I said it in a rhyme. The third smallest state. They set us up for failure. We the third smallest.
There was some singers from Bloomfield.
Nah, that's not true because niggas, Yonkers is a small place. Mount Vernon's a small place.
No, but Yonkers is New York. Yonkers is New York. Connecticut is a state. Yonkers
ain't looked at as New York, though.
We gotta go to New York to try and make something happen.
I'm talking about building up a fan base in Connecticut. Like, why hasn't anybody been able to unite that whole little spot and be the man?
It's no united front in Connecticut.
Yeah, that's like Hell Rel. Hell Rel is actually out of fucking. If I remember correctly, I think he's out of New London. He's like 10 minutes away from where I'm at now, and he had to go out to New York to make it.
Well, he claimed the Bronx. He claimed he grew up in the Bronx and he lived. That's what he said.
Nah, but
So that kid annoyed.
That's neither here nor there.
That kid annoyed. I've seen him.
Yeah, he's doing his thing.
Popping.
Who's annoyed?
I mean, there's Chris Webby. There's Chris Webby.
He's dope.
Yeah, he's
there's
dope.
He's dope. Who else? There's
Chris Webby from Connecticut.
Yeah. He's from Connecticut. He's from the other side of the state. Nah, he's from Connecticut. Yeah, Chris Webby. Who else? Shit.
I will let you go. You got somebody then, because
Yeah.
He's doing
Like
his thing.
Apathy. He's also from Connecticut. There's a few cats, but you know they flourish on the underground scene. But there's definitely a few cats out of Connecticut.
I never hear nobody repping it like yo CT Connecticut. Like I never hear that.
Empathy does.
But Apathy's
got an album named after it, isn't he?
Yeah, but he's mad underground. I'm talking about
No, I know what you're saying. Yeah, the biggest person we ever had any fucking records was Steezel, and you know that shit. And that was
Skinny Boys was bigger than him.
You think so?
They was.
But Nine, I know all y'all New York dudes looked at Skinny Boys like the Fat Boys and shit. They was like the same shit. They were doing the same shit the Fat Boys was doing. Like, yo, like you said with the Dana Dane Slick Rick shit.
They used to come to Chuck Chillout's house too. Chuck used to fuck with them like partially, man. So they used to always come down. They were some humble dudes. They knew what they was doing.
But
they wasn't trying to hide it.
They were the same like Dane and Slick Rick. It was the same with Fat Boys.
No, but I'm saying it worked. I didn't say it was good. I just said it was big and it worked. I couldn't tell you one record they made.
Jockbox, they did Jockbox. They did the what's the other shit did? And when they dropped the other album with the fucking weight shit. What's that shit? Was Weightless? That was called? What was it called?
Yeah, they was on the same label that Warlock Records with Jungle Brothers, right?
Yeah. You talking about the Skinny Boys?
Yeah. What was it? It was Weightless was their second album when they was like weight. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, It was what you thought. Like they was like the Fat Boys. It was just Skinny Boys, right or wrong. That's how you look at it.
That was the whole point.
For a minute though, real talk. I mean,
Yo, Breeze, will you
say
tell him
earlier, Dane? Nine.
Breeze,
About the Dane
Breeze, tell him that was the point. Like,
I'm not dissing them because if I
they wanted to be the opposite of the Fat. They knew they wasn't fooling nobody. It wasn't like they was gonna.
But
they made some money though.
Jockbox was dope to me when I heard that shit. I was like, oh shit! But
they was doing shows. I remember.
Besides Toads, where's the spot to like do shows up there?
Toads, you said Toads, New Haven, Connecticut.
Toads Place, yeah. Toads Place is definitely.
That's it.
Like, where's the spot?
Yeah.
Place else?
Yeah,
Toads Place. Spot in Connecticut is probably Toads Place, yo.
The casinos, and then we got some, hole in the walls.
Yeah, because
the biggest shit in New Haven. You know what I mean? That's right by Yale College in New Haven, all that shit.
Like,
it's mad good venues to do shows if we focus like that. It's mad good venues.
Especially in the colleges and shit like that. That's definitely a good place to do shows, and it's relatively easy. Shit, like even back when I was rapping, I did a few shows over there. I did a show at Toad's Place. I did a show like a few days.
New Haven, Connecticut.
Yeah. But
Nine, you never did a show at Toad's Place?
Yeah, Toad's Place is official.
The Juggernauts or Mr. Complex, you guys never did a show at Toad's Place?
Yo, that's love for New York motherfuckers to come through and just go to Toad's and then go back home.
I went up there once. I don't know if it was Toad's, but it was definitely New Haven. And I was with Digio and my man Wisdom, who was from Connecticut, who's from Stanford. And it was dope. Like, crowd was wild.
Because that's one thing about Connecticut is Connecticut loves New York artists.
Wilding out. It was a lot of fun, actually.
No, I like that area. You know what I mean? Like, well, I'll go. If I know fucking 9 of y'all coming, I'm going to that show, yo.
Yeah, and another and this
shit I was telling you about 9. That's like Capadonna shit I was telling you about that spot.
There's a weird thing about Connecticut. There's a weird thing about Connecticut, right? Because Connecticut is kind of it doesn't necessarily have its own identity in terms of like something big, right? So you have people either follow the Patriots or you have them follow the Yankees, or you have, you know what I mean? Like, because we don't, in terms of college basketball, we got the Huskies, which like nobody can fuck with us. But other than that, though, you
Duke can
like,
fuck with you. North Carolina can fuck with you. What the fuck is you talking about?
All right, let's simmer down.
You must be talking about the women's basketball team, Huskies.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yo, the women's basketball.
Oh, the woman, the girl.
Yeah, that's right. Show love to the ladies. Show love to the ladies. But anyway, but like I was saying though, like, so we had this weird identity crisis, right? Where like either people lean towards Boston or they lean towards New York, you know what I mean? And there's always like an internal conflict within people that live in Connecticut about that. Because there's always New York, like right now I'm rocking a New York hat. I can go 10 feet down the street, bump into somebody else with a New York hat, or they got a Boston Red Sox hat on. You know what I mean?
I know what y'all's problem is.
Yeah, what's that?
Y'all ain't got no accent.
Yeah, it's kind of, yeah.
Even Philly niggas got a different accent.
It's
Philly
true.
Niggas,
it's true.
Everybody got their own little twang. Connecticut.
Right.
They say, my Joan. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, Philly niggas, they rap a certain way. They got a certain slang. They pronounce words a certain way. You know, all those little slight differences. Chicago niggas got their own little, like, everybody.
You know what? Massachusetts and Connecticut got that from that New York shit. I don't give a fuck what anybody say.
Yeah, no. Well, here's the thing. Well, actually, Massachusetts. Nah. I can't.
I think they got it from New York, yo.
Yeah, but stress. I can't agree with that because even way before hip hop came along,
Corona.
Way before Corona, pre-COVID.
These shits is on sale like, because people are stupid. I went in the store, that nigga was like, yo, a case of Coronas for like $8. I was like, I'll take both of them.
Yo, that's the new Peels right there.
Well, nah, people are so stupid that Corona actually shut down production. I don't know. They had this. No, I'm not joking. They shut down production of their product because people wasn't buying it because it's Corona.
Yeah, you know, but beyond that though, like I'm saying, like no, because Boston always had an accent. They always had. Rhode Island always had an accent. Because not for nothing, a lot of like the mobsters and shit like that brought the accents with them. And you know what I'm saying? Like you hear, like I talk to somebody from Mass and I know they're from Mass immediately. I talk to somebody from Rhode Island, I know they're from Rhode Island. You talk to somebody from Connecticut, they got like this weird little hybrid to where it doesn't sound like anything. It's like
New York.
Said that they don't have a sound.
They sound like New York.
Yeah.
You know?
Fellas, I gotta get up with this Tyler in the morning. She 3.
Breeze, it's great seeing you, brother. We gotta get up, man.
We definitely 29. You tell me where you gonna be at.
We gotta meet at the Bat Cave, man.
Meet at the Bat Cave.
Only right. We gotta meet at the Bat Cave.
I gotta bring you out to Connecticut. You gotta come see me.
Yeah.
You come out here with 9. You and 9 gotta come out here and bring Kev with your ass and shit. Yeah, for real. Come
definitely.
Not gonna happen.
Complex, you back in Queens. You still in the Bronx? Or you back in Queens?
I'm in Queens, back Queens.
Yo, I want to see a video made and your shit with Complex.
I'll let you, Complex. We gotta see what's up.
That's what I'm talking about. 9 too. I'm 9 to fuck with you. You know what I mean? I can see.
Oh yeah, I need videos, man.
Yo. If anything, Rocko and Stress or whatever, we could all just make a trip out there and go see them. You know what I'm saying? If y'all pick the spot, we could all link.
All this crazy shit, we ain't going over there.
Well, I mean, pass away.
You still scared of that shit, man? Just wash your hands.
I'm not scared of that shit, but you still throwing us up. Man.
Wash your hands and wear a mask, man. They got you.
I'm having a party next Saturday, July 4th, at my house and shit. If you talking that shit, come to my house next Saturday. What up, yo?
Take too long to get to your house, man. It's just like going to Baltimore.
You can fucking stay at my house now, and you got to worry about nothing. I live dolo. You can come out here.
That's just like going to Baltimore, yo.
No, it is not going to Baltimore. It's like 2 hours from you.
Peace,
y'all be good. Y'all be safe.
Yo, Breeze, I love you.
Love you, fam.
Yo, it was a pleasure, Breeze.
Yeah, it was awesome, bro.
I'll see you soon, bro.
All right, my brothers. Y'all be good.
All right. All right.
Peace.
Peace.
Just
Yeah.
have a barbecue, you saying?
No, I had my house. So I had the producers corner. People coming to my spot. Yo, come check me out. Come over here. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? I just don't got a place for you to stay, but you could come and you've got to get a hotel. The hotels was like $40 a fucking night to stay out here, right next to my house. You know what I mean? Like,
I don't sleep on no bed that only costs $40 a night.
Nah. But
You talking
know
about the
what, though?
coronavirus? I'm talking about spermicitis.
Nine. You come. I give you my couch. You got my couch in my living room. Come on.
I did that before. I woke up, my face stuck to shit like
I have TV in my living room. Now I got the AC bumping. You good?
And you got rid of that chick, so all right, that's cool.
Yeah, word.
You still got the fire pit?
You're welcome to come too. I got 2 couches, so you're welcome to come too, brother. Yo, for real. I like to see you and Nine build to do video shit because your brothers come from the same era and shit.
Yeah, yo, Complex, it'd be dope, man, to have you out here, yo, for real. Cause I remember when I met Nine out here, man, that shit was dope. I was like, yo, that's a real ass dude. Like he's just like you see in the chat. That's the same dude you see in person. Same dude.
Brother.
He change up for nobody. And
Can't do it.
You're not supposed to change up.
I love that about people.
That's hip hop. You are who you are. That's hip hop. Period. Like, yo.
You know, it didn't matter be on top of the world when I had the biggest records and was running around. Same nigga, man. I don't treat people because I've seen it. I've been around it. Like, you know, especially being around Chuck Chill Out. I got to meet a lot of really big people. Like Chuck D gave me the NWA cassette like a week before it came out. He's like, yo, you gotta hear this. He gave us a copy. It ain't have no cover or nothing.
It was album for real.
It was a dub of the NWA Straight Outta Compton.
Oh, okay.
He gave it to me, and we got in Flex car, and we popped it in the deck and shit. By the time we got to Fuck the Police, I thought those niggas was insane because all we thought was like, how they gonna get on the radio? How they gonna, you know, like that's all we knew.
They sold a bunch of records without ever.
But nobody ever sold records without the radio before, so we was like. How they gonna? They was dissing people and cussing the police. They saying fuck that shit blew up. But as soon as I heard, we knew it was special. But you know, so I met people like that. You know what I mean? Like Chuck D early and shit. So once I got to know, like most of them was just a regular dude who knows how to make music.
Yeah,
that's it. So that's who you're supposed to be at all times, except when you're on that stage. When you're standing on that stage, that's where your ego come out. That's where I'm the great, I'm this, that's where it's supposed to come out. You're supposed to leave it on the stage. You don't take that shit with you to the dressing room, to the neighborhood, to your fans, to people you speak to. You know what I mean? Because I know you coming down. Nobody stays up there. I watch niggas go all the way up and watch them come all the way down. So I seen that shit early. And I also seen people who used to be interns. I seen them become A&Rs and vice presidents. So you gotta treat everybody right, because you never know. That dude you shitted on when he was coming up, you walk in the office trying to do some business, and that nigga sitting behind the desk looking at you like, yeah, nigga.
I remember you.
Remember?
Yeah.
You take and get the fuck out of my own like.
And that you go in that room and that same person, he try to act different when you was cool. Yo, okay, you was the same person.
No, they know who you are. They never forget. Revenge is a great dish, and there's no better way to serve it than when you got power over somebody's moves. Like you could shut that shit down. Like bad look.
Yeah, like I tell people all the time, I'm like, the first time I met Nine, we immediately within the first 10 seconds of conversation started a debate off the rip. You know what I mean?
I was on MGK's side, and he
we was over here preaching the word, going back and forth, and we're like, but how
I still think
can't look at it like this.
Yo, Complex, what you think, man? Did you hear that battle? Eminem and Machine Gun Kill MGK?
It's crazy because I was just talking to Crime.
Yeah, they battled on record. They had records going back and forth.
Nine was fucking. He's like, Nine was arguing with me, but I don't think Nine feels about me a certain way. I say, Nine still likes you. Don't worry about that.
No, because it was all love. It wasn't like
it was love. We was just having a debate.
We were just debating shit. There should be no disrespect and no hard feelings over debate. It's just a debate.
That's the beauty of hip hop.
What's crazy if you like take yourself and make the other person comfortable about what they're saying, they're actually probably not gonna fuck with you by you telling you how you feel about the shit. Like, okay, all right, word.
I don't know who you met like that, but we grown men, you meet somebody, they think something, you say, nah, that's just whack. It's like sports to me. Like,
Yeah.
you know, you like a certain sports team, I like the other team, and we just chop it up about who. You're not gonna change my mind. I'm not gonna change your mind, but it's fun trading points, you know?
Yeah, exactly. If anything, you kind of in that vein, you grow a deeper respect. You know what I'm saying? Because you know you got somebody who's firm in their own, and you're firm in your own, and y'all meet in the middle and have a discussion. And if anything, a lot of times it turns into a teachable moment. It may not.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? You're still not gonna carry their views, but it is. You know what I mean?
And for real, Doc, I had no problem with you being absolutely wrong. It didn't bother me.
I felt the same way.
I had no problem with you being wrong. I was trying to save your soul.
Yeah. Oh shit. Oh man.
So we got an Eminem fan. I mean, I like M. He's cool, but he lost.
Me too.
To me, he just lost that. He lost that.
What I noticed is this is what I hear from everybody. Period. Anybody that comes from the hood or that type of area, they can't equate to Eminem as what he's saying. But but lyrically, he knows how to put words together and do all that.
I can't equate to MGK neither. I'm just talking about that battle.
Well,
I'm just talking about that exchange of words that those two gentlemen had with each other. That
was the point you made.
Yeah,
because you were telling me like, yo, is MGK as lyrical? Hell no. You're like
in the same discussion with M. But you know, it's sometimes Mike Tyson runs into Buster Douglas.
Yeah, but so like I feel like the end of the discussion, we came to the conclusion that MGK probably had more of an impact on record than what Eminem put out. It wasn't necessary. It didn't even almost even boil down to what was said. It was about. No,
I don't think that. I think Eminem is 10 times the impact of him. He's created him, but in that exchange of words, I'll say it again, that those two gentlemen had with each other, I feel MGK was more direct. He got his point across better, and I just think he won. So
how you feel about Cannabis and LL? Because that's almost like the same thing.
Well, I think Cannabis destroyed L.
Yeah, all right. So it's almost like it's almost the same thing then.
That record that LL responded with was straight basura.
Yeah, it was. You're right.
To me, Second Round Knockout is one of the most devastating diss records I've ever heard. It's the way people battle today. He fucking, to me, he put LL on a stick and lit a match under him and turned him real slow.
Yeah, yo, shit already got real, but once he said have your wife get on the horn called Minister Farrakhan, I was like, no.
It was just the flow too. It was the flow, the delivery, the voice, the wordplay. He beat L in every category possible on that record.
Yep.
But it's just he wasn't as well known, and he didn't back it up by making hit records on his own. If he would have made some hits on his own after that, then it would have been different. But he kind of dropped the ball on his album, and LL came out with a good album.
I think he put the onus on Wyclef instead of just being like, well, fuck Wyclef and just, you know what I mean, and just.
Well, I mean, who would have said that if you was down with a dude who just sold 25 million albums? You're kind of gonna listen to him, and you're gonna be glad to stand next to him. And this is no slight to L, because L did the same thing to people. He destroyed Mo D. Not only did he destroy Mo D in the battle, he destroyed Mo D, Ice-T, and MC Hammer on the same record.
Yeah.
I remember that shit.
Yeah, you're right.
He cooked all three of them. So now it's your turn. It's karma. He ran into a young him. Cannabis actually reminds me of a young L when he first came out. He kind of reminded me of a young L.
Yeah.
So, he ran into his karma.
He had that hunger.
He ran into his karma, but trust me, L was putting niggas to bed for like 10, 12 years. Eventually, your turn. He can't just keep knocking.
But you know what though?
Actually, L got that from Mike, yo. Him and Mike was supposed to be fucking a group, and Mike told me that L approached him. He's like, "We be the next Run DMC," and Mike said that L was always known to be kind of a fibber, so that's why he didn't believe him when he said with his drinking and all that stuff. And he's like,
"No, they kind of rhymed similar back in the day."
Yeah.
They kind of rhymed similar, but L was just a a fucking phenom. You know, he was 15. I needed a beat, which, you know, a lot of people, you know, say
crazy.
he used a little bit of Tila Rock in the first flow, but he switched it up immediately and was even better after that. He just kept getting better and better and better.
Yo, Rock and Rock the Bells and fucking.
Yeah, I actually always heard a little bit of like Run DMC in early LL.
Yo, when I'm Bad came out, man. When I'm Bad came out, I remember I was living in Eastchester Project. When that record came out, that shit was the biggest shit in the world. Like, that shit was coming out of every speaker, every apartment. Niggas was outside saying the words. They was doing the dance steps when he said shark's fin. Niggas was doing that shit. Like, he had the whole, he had it locked. L had shit locked.
Yo, when he did Jack the Ripper, I was like, yo, the L, the E, the B, the V, the Z, the B, the L.
That's when he killed Mo D with. That's what he murked Mo D with that shit.
I was like, yo, I made sure I bought 2 of them records. So
I think at the time I lived in Park Slope when I'm Gonna Knock You Out came out, or Mama Said Knock You Out. Yeah.
Right.
I remember hearing that shit on the radio and being like, this is the hardest shit I ever heard in my life, period.
That whole album was one of the greatest albums ever. That shit was bananas.
That was when he fucking with Marley, right? That's the
whole album. Marley produced the whole album. That shit was one of the greatest albums ever. That shit was crazy. Because at the time, like, L was the biggest thing, and then a lot of people came out and was, you know, big. It was as big as him or whatever, and this was his response. You know what I mean? And his response was crazy. It was crazy.
And that for me was one of the hardest records that went mainstream, period. You know what I mean? Just in terms of content, aggression, all that shit.
LL Cool J was a super creative dude from the beginning. He wasn't just a rapper. Like, he had that going back to Cali. He did I Need Love.
Yeah.
He wrote records for Run DMC. It's funny you bring that up, but he was writing a couple records for Run D when he was 16, 17 years old. But he was mad creative with it. Always creative with it. It was always something different.
How did you feel about I Need Love?
I thought it was amazing. When I first heard it, I liked the record. I loved the record. And it was so dope to me that somebody figured out a way to make a hip-hop love song.
You don't think he might have got off Left Me Lonely? You don't think he could have fucking got the idea and shit from Shan and shit? What came out first? I Need a Love or Left Me Lonely? What came out first?
I Need Love was first.
That's true.
I believe.
LL made like
Left Me Lonely was first. Left Me Lonely was first, but I Need Love blew up.
Yeah. What'd you say, Complex?
LL had made like 3 love songs before I Need Love.
I Could Give You More.
That's deep.
Oh yeah, I Could Give You More. Yeah, he was on that. That was dope.
Yeah.
He was dope. He was dope. And if you ever get a chance to see him perform, it's like excellence personified. Like, that nigga's face is like stone. His face is like stone. His focus and his voice, it sounds exactly like he's a consummate professional. It's like some of the best performers. Like, he's one of the best. And then Busta, of course.
Busta. I was about to say Busta. I see
KRS
Busta.
is also amazing. KRS is amazing on stage too. As far as how they sound,
Busta knows how to do it because he got his man with him.
Nah, he don't need him.
He knows how to
helps.
Yeah.
It helps, but he could do all that shit himself. Busta could rhyme 100 miles an hour without losing his breath. You've seen him do it. Like, Spliph Star adds to his stage show, which makes Spliph is dope. He's a dope addition.
So let me get you of your life career. Who's the top 5 best MCs that you saw performance wise? Come on, you gotta get perform, performance wise.
Oh, LL Cool J, Busta Rhymes. Perform? Wow. Oh man. Because I've seen people do some. KRS definitely. I've seen some people do some great shows. Fuji's was fucking amazing. They was amazing. And the Roots.
I think if you're hyper lyrical, it's difficult because you need those breaths. You need a hype man. You know what I mean?
But
that's
not
why,
really, because Black Thought's hyper lyrical. In fact, he don't need no.
No. But I mean, like, even if you're on the fast shit, you know what I'm saying?
DMX ain't need no hype man. DMX ain't need no hype man.
Yeah,
he's not one of the greatest shows you ever seen either.
He does great shows.
he's also one of the cats that's ad-lib heavy. So he could just fall back on the ad-lib and let the shit play for, you know what I mean?
The energy DMX puts on, the energy DMX brings to the stage
good
is
word.
unreal. Like, he'll have the whole crowd going crazy, especially when he was super popular. Like, that nigga was tearing stadiums down. You can't take that. I mean, DMX know how to perform. His energy and his believability, you know, he would cry on stage, he would pray, it was like an experience with him. So I should add him to it too. Like, he's definitely one of them. I'm glad you brought that up, Rocko.
Your complex, who you're 5?
My 5 would be Black Thought.
That is dope, man.
LL was true. Q-Tip is nasty on stage.
Yeah, he's live too.
Tribe got busy. Tribe gets busy.
That's a hard question to ask. That's why I hate those type because you forget somebody.
Yeah, somebody. I never got to see De La Soul live, but somebody was telling me that they were actually
busy.
I learned a lot from him. From De La.
Yeah.
Busy.
Yo, I think Rocko and the other couple people told me that when the Tribe Called Quest came out, they're like, these dudes, then when they saw him perform, they changed the whole way they thought about him and shit. Like, yo, for real. Like,
I don't know who said that, because from the moment I heard them niggas, I didn't have to see them. Them niggas was ridiculous.
Tribe Called Quest is my favorite group, period. That's my
when I heard Left My Wallet and Elsa, it was just different. I was
Elsa Gundo,
but I liked them, but when I seen them in Harlem, I was like, yo, they was the first group out of 25 at the insurance building, and they fucking straight killed it. They was memorable. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
We went on after that, and they killed it. KRS was probably like the headliner, and he killed it. You know
Back then, dudes was really extra professional, man. They had a different approach to, you know, they didn't bring their posse on 12 niggas on stage with them.
Exactly.
5 microphones, niggas doing the ad-libs, yelling and screaming. Like, the worst show I ever seen, to be honest, Mobb Deep was one of the worst I ever seen.
Sure.
You know what's crazy? You know what's
I'm
crazy?
being honest, they ain't sound nothing like the record. They had a bunch of niggas on stage. 50 Cent too. 50 Cent had like 12 niggas on stage.
I don't like the
yelling.
50 Cent when he rhyming to his lyrics. I never liked that shit.
I've seen a few good 50 Cent shows. 50 kills it.
Well, when I saw him, it was at Big Veins. He had just so many niggas on stage, and too many people had a microphone, and they was trying to say the words with him.
Yeah.
That's how Mobb Deep was, like Big Noid. He used to be saying the words over top of them. It was fucked the whole shit up for me. Like,
I think for me, one of the people I think that I was probably the most disappointed by, but it's also still lyrically as the artist, like the overall package or whatever, Nas. Nas on record, he sounds amazing, but when you got him on stage,
out of breath.
He was
on live. He sounded like he got the coronavirus.
Like rhyme, and then he'll stop and like he'll let the people.
He even got records. He even got records like that, like the original Made You Look. I was like, yo, where was his friends at? His people when he was in the booth. Why didn't they tell him, yo, my nigga, you gotta do that again or punch in? Like, we can hear you running out of breath. You were like, I heard him like that on records, sounding like that.
But it was weird to me because, like, the first time I seen Nas in concert, I was, like, expecting, like, exactly. You know, like, you always have that perception of it's going to sound at least close to the record. You know what I mean? And then all of a sudden they come out and then, like, his whole voice was different. I didn't even know he could sound like that. It just threw me off. You know what I mean? I was like,
he got better, though.
Yeah.
Once he got a live band and shit, started doing stuff, he got better.
Yeah. And another thing is with the live band, they can relax the tempo. So shit ain't as fast.
Also, one of the greatest shows, Hove. You fucking kidding? That nigga don't even got to move. This shit was bananas.
Redman could perform his ass off too. Redman.
Red and Meth together, super professional.
Yeah.
These are niggas you don't want to get on after. You don't want to get on after. Redman's going in the crowd. Method's jumping in the crowd. These niggas, you don't want to go on after this.
I actually went to a Keith Murray show and he didn't say his rhymes and he just jumped in the crowd and said a couple fucking shit and fucking.
I did a show with Keith Murray and he didn't ask the permission to crowd surf when he jumped and niggas moved.
Ooh, ooh.
This is at BB King's. I shit you not. This is Flex anniversary party 5 years ago. That nigga was like, the most beautifulest thing, and jump, niggas move. Boom, he hit the floor.
Yeah,
Shit was crazy. And he still had the mic in his hand, so you heard him go, ow! It was crazy. I was like, yo, what the fuck? They was like, yo, niggas move, man. There's an older crowd, you know.
I mean,
these are anniversary parties. These are anniversary parties, right? Like Flex's anniversary birthday, he got old school niggas performing. So the crowd is filled with 35 to 45-year-old adults. Yeah. You're not jumping on no grown man. You're not jumping out this
No.
Niggas was moving like, the fuck wrong with this nigga?
You gotta get
ain't nobody trying to be in a crowd getting a handful of balls and shit. Like,
hell no.
That shit ain't it. Nope.
Niggas,
no,
they moved, and they moved so fast that he didn't land on nobody. They just spread like Moses.
So talking what we saying, these kids that are watching this whole the chat right now, y'all gotta get your fucking showman shit up. Don't just think as you make a dope record that you're gonna fucking be dope. You gotta show that shit when you're on stage. That's the difference between what rappers did back then and now. They show their showmanship. They do that.
It's like Illmatic. Illmatic, Nas was God. He could walk on stage and let his record play, and he'll kill a show. You know what I'm saying?
But real MCs in the crowd be like, what the fuck is he doing? Because the motherfuckers always looking at that shit like, what the fuck are you doing? Come on.
You know what I learned though? So what?
Yeah.
That nigga still went backstage, got his second half, counted up his bread, got in his fucking Benz and went home.
No, but you know, Nine, but you guys know it's coming up. That shit fucking matters, yo.
It only matters if you have integrity.
Yeah.
About your art and about what you're doing or how you perceive. If you don't give a fuck and you just there for the check, I mean, sometimes it could just be a bad night, and you happen to be at the show. Because I've done shows where I just had a bad night. I just wanted to be like, what you want now? Thank you, boom. I wanted to get the fuck out of there. Like I just didn't feel like I didn't feel like doing the song for the fucking 70th time in 4 weeks. That shit get crazy, especially when you don't have too many hits. Like I just had that record at the time before my album, and I was performing so much that it used to get me sick to the point where, like, Stress will tell you, I hate what you want. I fucking hate that record. I hate performing it. I fucking don't even. I hate that fucking record, man. I hate that shit. I hate saying it, and I shouldn't because I should love it because it changed my life. But you know, at some point in time, you're like, all right, enough of this shit, man. I don't want you don't hear Jay-Z doing them early records because he got a catalog.
Nah, we brought Nine to Massachusetts and Sadat X and Sean Price and all them was over there. Remember, we was over there and he's like, yo, like after one verse, like, oh, here's some new shit. He's like, yo, you got quick, like boom. You did the Red Room in the one verse of the fucking What You Want, then you did the other shit. Yo, Quinine is a dope album, yo. Quinine is a dope album.
Yeah, I was trying to push it. Well, it's on Spotify now, and I got full ownership, so some little coins coming in from that. You gotta have, you know, once you get ownership of certain shit, then you start seeing money you don't even expect. Couple hundred here, couple hundred there, just come in the mail.
I mean, shit, it all adds up though. The laundry
that's the good shit. It makes you think if you owned all your shit. So if the niggas who say they own their masters, that really could talk shit because he's really getting money. Like, you know, with What You Want, I'm still paying Otis Redding's estate and shit like that. That's just fucking forever because it's like I had to sign that to get to use it, you know? And that was 25 years ago. I wasn't thinking 25 years from now it's going to be getting streamed and I'm only going to be getting 25% of it. Like, you don't think about that when you do that shit, you know? You don't know what the future like. But
you get to the point where you wish you could be right now and go talk to you when you was younger. Like this.
Yeah, there's definitely some shit I would definitely say, but I don't know, man, because I'm happy with the animal that I've become and this project I'm going to put out, and I don't think it's possible if anything's different.
Yeah, if you didn't go,
there's no time limit. There's no time limit on this shit, man. This shit is not boxing. I keep telling niggas, you sharpen your mind. I got something totally different to talk about now. I've lived a whole different life. So, and I don't know. If you change, I think if you change anything that happened, you won't be, unless you're not happy with who you are and where you are now. You know, do I wish I would have been smarter business-wise? Hell yeah.
So Nine, what I gotta do to get that Funk Master Flex freestyle you would have did on his shit?
Oh, I done dodged some of those bars was so crazy. I done took them shits out and I did surgery. I done put them shits in different places. I wasn't wasting that shit because I went in. It was like a 7-minute long verse.
Oh shit!
You know, and I had a lot to prove, especially going up after Black Thought was up there. I was like, oh, I'm gonna be one of these niggas. But I got a song called Revolt TV on this project that I go for 7 minutes. That's so powerful. It's gonna make up for that shit, you know.
So Nine, why didn't you do the Funk Master Flex shit?
He fronted. He fronted. At one point, he was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna have you up here." I was like, "Listen, I don't want to come up here to prove that I can rap. I got an album coming out called King in September, and I like to get some traction. You know what I mean? If I come up here and I kill it, then people be like, oh shit, he still rhymes. And then I announce the King out. Maybe I'll catch some sales. I'm just doing business, trying to be a little more visible, especially on a platform where he had 500,000 people watching it, whether they like it or not. Everybody's clicking on to see, you know. So that's the only reason I wanted to do it. And then he came with my man with some like, yo, if I let him do it, then I'm gonna have to let all the 90s niggas come up here.
What the fuck is the problem with that? I don't know. That shit gets me irritated. That shit gets me irritated. I hate
brother that he fucking grew up with. That was his.
That's what I'm saying, yo. That shit gets me irritated.
Like, yo.
But he don't. But everybody don't look at you the way you look at them. I used to be bitter and get mad and stuff. Now I smile and laugh, and it's like I make my own choices. Like I don't fuck with him at all. You know what I mean? I don't speak to him at all. You know, I don't wish him no ill.
That's very hurtful, though. That's very hurtful.
Nah, yo, yeah, that's
at first it is, but then you're gonna realize that, you know, it ain't. If it was the first time I ever been hurt by a friend or it would have been more devastating. But when you get to a certain age, man, being hurt and disappointed and let down and betrayed, that shit has happened so many times. There's so many different instances in my life. To me, that shit don't mean nothing no more, you know? You make a choice. When you make a choice on how much you want to take from someone who claims they're your brother or your friend, it's your choice. If they keep doing you dirty, just cut them off. Like, fuck them. I don't care how powerful or whatever I think you could have did for me because you ain't do shit for me. So once you get that understanding, then nothing bothers you no more. Like, you got to have thick skin to fucking be in this business, this game anyway. You can't be a nigga who gets upset, you know what I mean, or gets his feelings hurt, it gets emotional, because it's gonna happen a lot.
That's why even Nas said it, man. The thug changes and love changes and best friends become strangers. You know what I mean? Like, and that's the whole thing. That's the kind of thing that fucks me up when I hear that, is the fact that, like, how you bigged him up. I mean, but you were being real about the situation. It's not necessarily even about bigging him up. It's about telling the true story and painting it in a real light about how he was a real hip hop head and would listen to records and give you your 25 seconds. And if he wasn't, you know, if he wasn't compelled by anything he was doing, saying, the beat, whatever, like, he wasn't fucking with it. But at least he would take out the time. You know what I mean? So, like, it's just like, and I understand that, you know, shit changes and it's different, man. But that's like, yo, man, that's like, no, that's just
I also understand, man, when people are climbing, and I think this goes in anything in life, when people are climbing the financial ladder and you're not keeping up with them or you're not on pace with them, it's not even personal. They're taught and trained to remove everyone from their past that is not, you know, there's a book called The Richest Man. It's called The Richest Man in Babylon. I think all you brothers should read it. I think I have a copy of it right here. And I'm going to show you what it looks like. So if you get a chance, it's not a hard read or nothing. It doesn't take that long to get through it. It's very informative. But it's Charles Klassen, The Richest Man in Babylon. And what the story is about is this guy, he makes chariots for a living, right? And he makes the best chariots in the whole fucking land. So everybody wants to buy a chariot from him and shit. So he would get hit off from like a prince to make a chariot, or the king, or you know what I'm saying? And he would get paid crazy. But instead of taking that money and buying more stuff to build more chariots, he would spend it on all his people because they weren't getting no money. Get it? So he would buy them food. He would buy them shit. And then by the time it was time for him to make another chariot, he ain't had no money. So he was living chariot to chariot. Like, and the book is telling you that if a person's purse doesn't match your purse, that's the kind of language they use. It's telling you that if you go out to dinner, if you're a lawyer and all your friends, you know, work at McDonald's,
It's
and y'all
gonna
get to, if y'all get together to go out for dinner, you're gonna pay for it.
Yeah.
You're gonna do it out of guilt. You're gonna do it because they expect you to do it. Because you getting money, they struggling. So if you keep hanging with them, you're gonna have to keep doing that. And whenever they're in financial trouble, they're gonna come to you. So if you keep lending them money or, you know, paying for it, it's never gonna end, and you're never going to get to where you're supposed to get
that
to.
MC Hammer shit. Yeah.
It's not even about music or anything. It's like I said,
or you're just as good as the people you hang around, or
right, but it's telling you that you can't make it out of, like, this dude who was making these chariots, he was supposed to be living in a crazy house. Like, he was making it. He was getting it. But he couldn't because he didn't save his, he wasn't hanging out with other rich people to show him how to, you know what I'm saying? He was hanging out with people that he came up with. And he never was able to, because having finances is a mentality. I could give, like, all of us in this room, if we all had 100,000 in our pocket right now, the outcome's gonna be different with each one of us, depending on our financial intelligence, right?
Yeah.
Some of us is gonna get a car. Some of us is gonna, you know, buy jewelry. Some of us is gonna, you know, put the money away. Some of us is gonna invest it in a business. Like, we each gonna do something different with it. And at the end of, you know, at the end of the day, the one who makes the right decisions, when we run into each other again, you'll be like, yo, you still got that 100? Like, yeah, and I turned that shit into 3 million. And you're gonna have one guy who got, like, I got 10,000 left.
Or you're gonna have one dude that's like, I'm 50K in debt.
Right. You know, it's just a guarantee. So this book just, and this was given to me by my friend who's a engineer, and, you know, he has his own engineering business, and he made over $1 million and change, you know, every year. He's doing really well. And I asked him for some money once. I was going through some shit. This was a long time ago. I was living in Harlem. I think it was about 2009. I had these 2 apartments that I was in charge of, and I had a violation in one of the apartments, and I needed the roof taken down and everything, or you know, they was gonna make me give up the apartment. So I went to him, and it was like, maybe it was about $8,000 I needed from him, but, you know, I had tenants that would be paying the rent. And, you know, he flat turned me down, and the next day he showed up at my house, he gave me this book, and that shit changed everything. Like, I understood. At first I was dumb mad, because this is a dude who I helped out. I was a street dude. When he got in trouble, I went over there, handled niggas, you know what I'm saying? So I was really upset with him for not even considering helping me out, because it was not like I asked him for the money for myself. I was trying to hold on to some property and do some, you know what I mean? But when he said that to me, when he did that, he said, I just want you to understand where I'm coming from and why I said what I said. And he gave me this book. He said, now you can read it or you can just stay mad at me. So about a week went by, and I said, let me read this shit. And I slowly but surely began to understand. You know what I mean? So I think that's what happens to dudes who, you know, it's not really personal, but it's just the way people who are getting money are taught to behave by other people that's getting money.
Yeah.
They're telling you. And then, you know, you got to think, you know, Flex got 3 kids. He got a house, he's probably taking care of his pops. He got the 3 kids, he got alimony. You don't know what another person's shit is.
Yep.
When you ask him, and then if you give somebody something, they coming back. It's like a fucking cat. If you leave a fucking bowl of food outside your door, that nigga gonna be there every day. If you tell him ain't no fucking cat food here, he might come back twice, then he'll get the message, that nigga will never ask you again. Even if you gotta lose a friend, he'll never ask you again. You still get your objective of him never asking you again. That's your point that you're trying to establish. You know? And me and this guy, we good friends to this day. I don't need nothing from him, no ask, man. I crawled out of my situation on my own, which is, you know, sometimes you just need to be told right and shown You
Yeah.
know, the mentality that you have to adapt if you're
Yeah.
really getting money, you know.
Yeah, that's the whole I could give you a fish or teach you how to fish type of theory. You know what I mean?
But they're taught to change their whole surroundings.
Uh-huh.
That's what the man is telling him in this book. He's like, you gotta change your whole surroundings. All your friends, you gotta cut them all off. Ain't none of them helping you. Ain't none of them helping you buy materials or build your chariots. Ain't none of them helping you, but they reap the rewards when you come home. So
Yeah. You know what? It's I always find myself in a difficult place when it comes to that though, because there's like I don't know, because I grew up in like a community type of environment where it's, you know, if somebody's fucked up, you help them out 10 times. And eventually, when you least expect it, it comes back around. But when you're dealing with absolute strangers, they come into your life, it's different because what they're giving you is a lesson, and that lesson should be valuable. You understand what I'm saying? So it's like the values are different depending on how you
basically what you just said though goes against everything that the book is telling you, because if you do come from a place where everybody looks out for each other, everybody helps each other. I also notice I said they have to be on the same financial climb as you. If I see you hustling and you getting it, and when I don't got it, you got it. When you don't got it, I got it. That's different. But when you launch past your peers, when you become a millionaire and they still working a $50,000 a year job, you can't. It's not if you want to keep the million. Not if you want to turn that million into 2 million. It's impossible to have 10 friends and none of them are on the financial path that you're on, and you're helping all 10 of them. You are not going to make it. You're not gonna get it.
No, you're right.
No.
You know, I mean, it's unfortunate, but like I used to say, you know, and then you give the ones you can give a job. You know, like he could have been, like, can you do this? Will you learn how to do this? You give him a job, he works with you, he works for you. That's different. But a person who calls you and says, hey, my mortgage is late, I need $3,000. Now I might have 10 million. I give you 3. Now the next dude calls, he needs 5 to fix his car. I give him 5. Before you know it, I done passed out $80,000, and it's gonna happen again because y'all gonna come back and ask me again because I gave it to you the first time.
Yeah, exactly.
Next thing you know, instead of $3 million, now I only got 1.2, which ain't fair to me because it's not like y'all niggas is gonna pay me back.
Yeah, it's crazy because, like, I mean, like, I got like family members and shit like that. Not to get too deep, but I guess I'm gonna get deep. But like, I got family members that shit, I've borrowed and borrowed and borrowed, and then all of a sudden I'll pay back, and vice versa, right? And then all of a sudden it gets to the point where it's just like they're like, yo, I need like 800-900. I'm like, or I need 1,000, I need 2,000. Take it. I don't even expect that shit back, but I'll never give them that unless I'm in a position where I don't need the money. You know what I mean? So it's like it's just as valuable having people around you with the same moral compass in terms of like integrity, honor, and having that, because there's some people who just literally with their hand out the whole time. You never seen it until you got into a situation,
right?
But the whole time they had their hand out. They never really. Like all that shit was smoke and mirrors with the whole, you know, getting blunted and having a few drinks and bagging bitches and doing this, that, and the third or whatever. But when some real shit pops up, well, let's say you need to move from this place to that place. You give them a call. Oh, yeah, I can't make it because of, nah. If you was in a line with exactly how I thought you was, then, you know what I mean, you'll make the time. You'll take the day off. You'll sacrifice your own shit.
They do you a favor when they do that because now you're able to spot them and weed them out. But imagine a scenario where everybody's good and they all good-hearted. They just happen to be in trouble all the time.
Yeah, no, you're right.
They don't mean nothing by it. They're not trying to break you, but they see you on TV or they see you get. So they're not trying to. They just assume you're getting it so easy. All I need is this. Can you do it? You know, like not everybody's out to use you. Sometimes people are fucked up for a while, you know, they struggling. So if they see an easy, quick win, now there's another way to get out the struggle, but they don't even look for that because they got you.
Yeah, I heard
subconsciously they got you. So
I heard that Dr. Dre, when you become one of his artists, when you go in the studio, he asks if you got any problems with your problems. And he'll financially take care of them problems so you could be a total artist in your fucking situation right there.
Because he doesn't sign a lot of people or deal with. So if he invests in you, like he really believes you're gonna like look at everybody he's touched. Snoop Dogg, Eminem, 50 Cent. Look at everybody he's, you know what I mean?
Even Anderson .Paak right now.
Right. They always launch to
numbers.
He sees something beyond even Kendrick. Like
Kendrick.
they become superstars. So that's why he does that.
Mm-hmm.
But they put their money on the right horse though. And I'm sure he has some losses. I'm sure he's paid for people's stuff and then they didn't pan out. I'm sure we didn't hear about it, but I'm sure it's happening.
I mean, we did kind of hear about it. We heard about it with Rakim. Like Rakim was like, "Yo, I signed up and he wanted me to do some gangster shit. I wasn't about it."
Rakim said that him and Dre had differences in what they wanted to do.
Yeah.
Rakim wasn't trying to do that thug and
gangster shit.
You know, but I'm sure Rakim's got a lot of fucking money. He's got you know what I mean? Like,
well, Dre gave him about $1 million. He ain't asked for it back.
Yeah.
Gave him $1 million to do it. They just couldn't come. But Rakim's a different case because Dre wasn't making him. He was already a superstar.
Yeah, you know? He was dealing with somebody who already had an impact.
Right. But somebody like Snoop and M, like they were all from the beginning, from the grassroots. Like,
Rocko was asked to Sticky whatever happened with the Aftermath deal and shit, and Sticky said that Universal gave him $300,000 more and shit, so he could buy. He'd be like, "I'm gonna buy my mama a house." But if Sticky would have stayed with Dre, and say if Sticky and Eminem at that time would have did an album together and shit, that shit might have worked and shit. You know what I mean? Like the way the shit was and shit.
Yeah, Sticky Fingers.
I know he's kicking himself in the ass for that one. I would be. A chance to work with Dre is worth more than $300,000 extra. I would have been, everything the man touched is gold. And if you believe in yourself, you're gonna make way more than $300,000 staying with him.
It was crazy. I said to him, "So what if he shelved you?" He was like, "Shelf me." I'm like, "Yo, he shelved a lot of rappers and shit where they didn't do shit."
He shelved people who didn't listen. But you know what you're getting into when you mess with an artist like Dre, or even Quincy Jones was the same way. Like they had the keys to the kingdom. So if he's telling you this is the type of record you need to do and I need you to focus on this, like usually 9 times out of 10 you do it because then they don't keep you forever. They let you go and you be a superstar. You can go do all the shit you want to do. You know what I mean?
Like Snoop Dogg.
Right. Nobody, Dre's never stayed with anyone. Once he gets you to a certain peak, he's gone.
Yeah, records are still gonna give him royalties and shit.
You know, you're on your own. Your next album, he's not trying to take money from. He's gone. You should be able to take care of this on your own now. Like he got you to such a level that now you can do all of the kind of records you want to do. And if it don't work, then you can look at him and you remember what does work. So, I think any opportunity like that to be around Dre or something like that, I would have jumped out the window for that.
I was just talking to Sir Jinx, and he was with him Sunday because they're cousins for Father's Day and shit. And he said Dre's house is so high in the hills in California that the clouds fucking hit the top of his building and shit. And you know what I'm saying? I'm like, that shit is crazy.
I don't believe that,
but he deserves it. Drake got billions. You know what I mean? So it's like
that you can't breathe if the clouds are touching your building.
That's what he said though. That's what he had said.
I think he was exaggerating. I think he was trying. There's no oxygen. There's no oxygen up there to sustain a human being.
He said he's that high in the fucking, I don't know, you don't call it mountains or whatever. You know what I mean? Like boom, but in Hollywood.
You ever been to Denver?
No.
Never been to Denver? Never been to Denver?
No.
It's just hard to. It's different there, man. The breathing, you be out of breath. It takes a couple of days to get used to that shit.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
And that's only a mile high.
Yeah.
I was talking to Sir Jinx, and he said that when you had an interview in the Source or something, he said that you brought up some shit against the West Coast, and he doesn't remember what you said, but he said he kind of felt like you didn't fuck with the West Coast in the Source magazine or something like that.
Red Rum said that. I said that in Red Rum. Must be the Chronic that got these niggas thinking they bionic.
So maybe that's what it was. Okay, yeah, that was, yeah.
Yeah, that was it.
I didn't hide it. That was around the time when they was talking wild shit. They was doing interviews talking wild shit. West Coast taking over. We the shit. We the best. East Coast. Like the fuck? How you gonna bite? How you gonna shit on Mecca?
So did you
New York is
say that in
Mecca.
an interview after the in the same time and shit or nothing?
Huh?
You say that in an interview at the same time when you did this song when they asked you about it.
Yeah, I said it. I never bit my tongue, dog. I said it. I was
No,
like,
that's
yo,
what he
talk-
said. I said, maybe we should talk. He's like, I think Nine don't fuck with us and shit. And he also said that.
That's not true. I like you. I like them. I loved all those artists. I bought their albums and all that stuff. But I'm not gonna let you, you know,
He said
shit
that
on New York.
when Heavy D did Don't Curse, he said fucking they thought that the West Coast was offended about that shit when he did the Don't Curse shit. I'm like,
You never know, man. Dudes are sensitive like little girls.
Everybody
think you talking
I
about
never
that.
equated that shit to the West Coast.
But that's what he said to me. It's like the Don't Curse shit. I'm like, these dudes probably wasn't even thinking about that shit. Like, yo,
Heavy wasn't thinking about them niggas at all. He was exploiting the fact that he don't curse, and he was trying to show everybody that he was so loved that he could get these profanity-laced artists to do a song with him, and none of them would curse. That's what it was. That's what the concept was. That's what the whole theme was. I could get these guys, and I'm just saying, do me a favor, don't curse. And they love Heavy. Everybody loved Heavy D, man.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. That
as a
reggae album
person,
he put
too.
out was crazy, too.
Even as a person, if you ever got to meet him, it's like him and Dougie Fresh, like they two type of people that it's like, yo, how could you not like this person, this guy as a person, as a man? Like, you know, Heavy was a really good dude, a really good soul. You know, he had no beef with nobody. Everybody loved Heavy. He smiling in your face. He meant it. He shaking hands. A whole different vibe we have. Rest in peace, man. But, you know.
Yeah, yo, so can I ask you and Complex real quick a question that I actually stole from Stress? So I'm just throwing it out there right off the rip. Which is a great question, by the way. Who's an artist out of you and Complex that like you passed up on where you're like, damn, I should have did that record, but you slept on it in the moment?
You go first, man.
Think about that.
I mean, even if it's a few, just name anybody. You know what I'm saying? Like somebody that just you like, shit, I should have did that record. I shouldn't have slept. I shouldn't have slept late that day. I should have went to the studio.
Only thing close, like, when Organized was recording, I was in the studio with them most of the time, but I was also finishing up school. And I remember Fudge Pudge was supposed to be Percy P on it too, and me. And it never happened. It just was OC.
Oh shit, that's crazy.
But you know, that would have changed. If I'd have been on one of them Organized records, I would have had a lot more fame. People, they always ask me about Organized because I was with them and close with them, but I wasn't on none of them records, which they were on a major label, and it just that exposure made a lot of people, people knew about OC. People knew about Nas for being on Back in the Grill Again. Over the Barbecue. Because they had that exposure. When we just had to do it off our independent, off our fat beats and the magazines and 80 hip hop.
Yeah, it's different.
It was different.
Yo, it's crazy as you stood by them still at the same time and you wasn't a part of that shit. That's some real shit. You know what I'm saying? But you should have fucking just like fuck it and took advantage of that situation, but you still, it's like, yo, I'm fucking with them. You know what I mean? Like,
they were my friends. I knew it. I took it as, they're my friends more than business. I don't think they were good businessmen, but they were my friends, so I just stuck with them on that shit. People always ask, like, how come you ain't put your man on? I mean, they did that at one time we was at a Naughty Barbecue, and a cipher broke out. You ever remember Lati?
Yeah.
And who else was there? Rockwalla was there, and there was a few MCs, and we just all started rhyming, and people ain't know who I was. When I started rhyming, they was like, who the fuck is this nigga? And he was like, how come he not on your shit? And he was like, he will be. You know, and never really did.
Yeah.
And I was just like, if you had to put me on, just like if I was to grace mainstream just one time, there's so many people, like you say, like I met 9 in 95, 96. There's so many people in my path, my journey that I ran into from Sticky and them used to be in the barbershop cutting our hair back before they records. But I could tell you all these Forrest Gump stories of all these people I've met and did something at the time that turned out to be something that everybody's like, that was special. But there was so many of these stories. Like when he's talking, I'm like, you know, I wasn't able to interject so many times, but there's so many stories of me meeting people. And it's like, it's crazy, but, you know, things happen for whatever reason they do.
Right.
You know, like, I remember being in the studio with Ultramagnetic way back in the day. And before, I think it was before I was Mr. Complex. And I told them my rap name and they all laughed. And then I said, all right, let me go back to the books and find the name that fit me. But, you know, so many different stories, so many different times and songs, I don't know.
Right.
I remember I was scared. I was scared when I started. When I used to go back to Bobito and Stretch Armstrong show with them, I was nervous as hell. Trying to
That's
rhyme.
good though.
Yeah.
It's a good thing. When you're not nervous is when you're nervous, you're gonna go right.
Mike Tyson was nervous every time he went in the rink. You know what I'm saying? Like, he would knock a motherfucker out, like, for real. Like, yo.
So to go back to a Mike Tyson story, I remember one time I used to work in the airport in JFK, and I watched these two girls. It was like, oh, there's Mike Tyson. Let's go get a picture. And they was talking. They was trying to build the strength. One girl was like, no, I ain't going over there. And come with me. Another girl was like, come with me. No, no, no. And then the one girl went by herself. And she said, hi, Mike, can I get a picture? Took a picture. And she was like, okay, bye. Then the other second chick was like, oh, let me go too. And he was like, well, why didn't you come when the first bitch came over?
That's funny shit.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
Oh shit.
All these stories.
Yeah, but my biggest regret, I remember Buster called me and he said, yo, they looking for rappers, man. They putting dudes on the Space Jam joint. And he was like, yo, you need to come down there, man. That's how you make it happen. You gotta be on other stuff. You can't just be on the record. I was like, I was smoking weed with my boys, whatever. He's like, yo, you should come down here and try to get on this record. And I was like, yeah, I'm gonna come. I blew that shit off. Next thing you know, it's Be Real, Buster, the fucking Michael Jordan, the movies. Yo, that's what I fucking passed up, you know? That's the only time that ever happened. I didn't get requested a lot. I didn't get a lot. My phone didn't ring that much with people wanting to make records with me and shit. I don't know why. I guess I didn't like me that much. I don't know.
No, I mean, it could just even be a thing where you were in the studio and they're like, yo, you want to do a verse? You know what I mean? Like, or just whatever.
Yeah, no, that type of shit didn't happen to me.
Yeah, but even with like a producer, let's say you're in the studio with a producer, and you just and your whole intention is to be a fly on the wall, and they ask you, yo, you want to spit a verse? And you're like, nah, I'm good. I'm just chilling.
Never happened.
He's like, I had bars in the stash.
It never happened.
Always the underestimated person that always was gonna be the winner at that.
I didn't really go to people's studio sessions because hip hop was so. Everybody was like almost on the same page as far as like samples and stuff. So I didn't want to be in nobody's session and they doing a record and then I already have that sample on something because then they're gonna swear you stole it from them. Mm-hmm. Or, you know, you might have a hook that's similar to theirs and they're gonna be like, yo, he was at the studio and we did our shit. You know, so I never even wanted to hear niggas when they was rapping. Like, you know, I was there when he was not. I didn't see him record kicking the door, but Biggie was in the staircase, and I seen C's, and I heard that beat coming out of the studio, like brum, 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 brum. I was like, oh, this shit is crazy. I seen Premier. He's like, yo, Big's over here, man. He say, what's up? So I went to say what's up to him, and he was sitting in the stage. He was smoking weed. He was just nodding his head and shit. And he was like, what's up, man? Good to see you. But I ain't want to enter bother him or nothing. So I was like, all right, man. And I was like, he said, yo, he's writing that shit right now. And I remember leaving, like, he had no pen, no paper, no nothing. How's he writing? And that's when I found out that I didn't use paper and pen. He just was listening to the beat over and over. And then he was like, rain on the top was short like leprechaun. And that shit was, to me, two of the craziest verses, some of the craziest verses I've heard. But I never stayed around nobody's session. Like, I was never a studio rat. To be honest, I don't even really like the studio. I like getting this shit done. The best part to me is writing it and practicing it again. And then when you lay it down, listening to it. But, like, I didn't like to be at the studio, like just being in there, smoking and music. Because I practice my shit. When I go to the studio, I do 3-4 records, I leave. I'm not even trying to be here. I don't write rhymes in the studio. I fucking hate that shit, yo.
That's like they said there's like E40. They said something crazy about E40, like how he used to be in a studio or he'd have the beat playing and he would just lay down on the floor like that was his process. He would lay down on the floor and write his bars and everybody would be like, yo, what the fuck you on the floor for? You know what I mean? And he would just be
He used to write that shit?
Yeah, he used to. E40 used to write. Yeah. Got him.
So you're not who you picking, E40 or Razzcast?
In what?
In rhyming and shit.
In a battle? Come on.
No. Just rapping on a record, period.
Why are you going to diss Razzcast like that? I mean, E40, that's not my thing. I respect him. I think he's dope, businessman, and he made his thing. But, I like, what's that record? Tell me when to go. Tell me when to go. I like that shit, man.
I
don't know what he was rhyming to, the hi-hats, the fucking, I don't know what he was rhyming.
This is like a 2-year inside joke because we got one of the members of the Producer's Corner. His name is Baker's Recipe. And as much as I hate to put him on blast, but I'm gonna have to. But we always had, because he's like, yeah, I'm from the West Coast originally, and
I like E40.
Yeah. And so the question was, it's like, all right, you're from the West Coast or whatever. Those two artists came up, and we're like, so who you have, E40 or Razzcast? And he'd be like, yo, and he would just go in on this tangent about E40 and would just completely forget about Razzcast. And everybody else is like, yo, Razzcast is fucking dope. What are you talking about? Yeah, and so it's almost like an insider joke. So we always ask people that question, E40 or Razzcast.
That's a wild to me, that's a wild comparison, though. It's like, I don't even see how that shit even, like,
talking just for the sake of talking, nah.
Oh,
that's
okay.
what that's you doing.
Oh, all right. To me, it's like,
I fuck with rats all day.
It's like two different sports almost. It's like, yo, who got more home runs, man?
That's just cats want to debate
Ken Griffey or Michael Jordan. It's like, come on. I mean, Michael Jordan's great at what he do. And I mean, E40 got a big fan base. He made millions of dollars. I ain't shitting on him, but I mean, for me personally, I could listen to that shit. And Razzcast is like lyrical, miracle, man. I'm not really into that too much either, but I know he can rhyme. I know he can spit on beat. I know he's nice. Like, his content wasn't my favorite, but I know he's nice.
If Nine was going to do a song with Razzcast or E40, who you picking?
To do a song with?
Yeah.
Depends on what my intentions are. If I want to make money, I'm going to do it with E40. If I want to just rap, I'm going to do it with Razzcast.
What you picking, fucking Complex?
Same thing.
If I want to make sure I get a check and some publishing,
you gonna rap with E40 and rap how you rap. That's what you're gonna do.
I would rap how I rap and throw it on the E40 record, get that publishing check. If I'm after the paper, Yeah, but if I
If I
just
would
want
have
to like
asked
match,
if I would have asked Nine that in 1995, what he would have said.
I'd have said the same shit. Like, certain dudes you just knew. If I rhyme with him, it's like I'd have did a song with him in a heartbeat. You crazy? You know, now people with no integrity, that's different. Like when you said Tekashi, he has no integrity. He's a clown. I wouldn't do a record with nobody that I don't respect as a person.
Both of these cats have integrity.
Yeah, I mean, you know, I'm not a super E40 fan, and I just don't think like him and Raskos. That's what threw me off. Raskos and E40 in the same, like, who you think's better conversation was a little crazy to me. But you guys, man, y'all do your thing.
Yo, one time I worked on a food show. I don't know if y'all know Vanilla Ice is on some cooking shit too.
Oh, word?
Yeah, and then somebody told him who I was. And he was like, yo, come in the hallway. And I was like, oh, boy. So we went to the hallway, and this nigga starts rhyming. And he was like, let me hear you rhyme. Yo, you ill. And he kept going. And he wouldn't stop. We just was rhyming. I'm like, I wish somebody could see this. Excuse me.
Bless you.
That would have been crazy.
Corona. But he was
That'd
like,
have been crazy.
But yo, man, he was like, yo, I was 16 when I made that fucking record. And I was a kid. I just did it, whatever. And I had so much more respect for him because, you know, he was still at it. But I was like, damn, I should get this nigga in the studio. It was shocking. It would have to be like Mr. Complex featuring Vanilla Ice.
Word up, man. That's a business move.
They'd be like, what?
That'd have been a good business move, man. Because nobody would expect that shit.
I wouldn't hate you for that.
I would
As
have tuned it.
long as you still being you, you're not doing what he does and shit. That's all.
Right.
Yeah.
I know, I would have made some hot shit.
Yeah. I would have told dudes like him, I'd have been like, yo, let me write your verse for you, man. Work.
Yeah.
Let's make this shit hot. Let's make this shit work. Your word. I'm trying to get on Jay Leno.
Yeah. I just heard a track he was on recently, and I was like, "Oh shit, yo, Vanilla Ice just came with it." And I was like,
He came with it.
He wasn't that
Be
bad.
like, yo.
Believe it or not, though, Vanilla Ice was not the worst rapper of all time.
Oh, no, definitely.
Of course he wasn't.
Wasn't the worst, especially now that we get to hear some of the stuff we hear now.
So you guys Nine and Complex being in the industry and shit, and seeing Search and Third Base dissing fucking Vanilla Ice, knowing they're white and he's white. You look at that as a weird way and shit? Or are you fucking?
No, they wasn't dissing him because he was white and they was white. They was dissing him because he was white.
Yeah. Why did it have to be him that said it and shit? You know?
And also, it was a preemptive strike. They was like, look, we're some white guys too, but we're not trash like him. So they was trying to separate themselves.
Yeah. Like, don't even put us in the same conversation.
Yeah, they wanted the right representative, but they went at him because he was whack, not because he was white.
But on the flip side, they went after Hammer because Hammer was whack, but Hammer checked them niggas.
Yo, but
Hammer had that place surrounded, man. Hammer was a gangster. People don't know his brothers.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
No, but Search was doing the same shit as fucking Hammer was doing. He was doing his dancing shit. You can put Arsenio Hall shit. He was like, when he got all psyched, he was doing the same kind of shit. You would see the shit and like,
but
yo.
third base dissed Hammer for Run DMC.
No, I'm talking about the Vanilla Ice shit. It was doing.
I'm saying the reason why Third Base went at Hammer was because Hammer disrespected Run DMC. Like in his videos, like Hammer, don't do this. Remember, he had the two dudes dressed like Run. He pushed him off the ledge and shit. So they was like, "Oh, you dissing Run," and like they was signed to Rush. They was on Def Jam. That's Russell's brothers. Run DMC was like the king still. And they didn't like that, so they went at Hammer. But then he said Hammer's mother gets the gas face.
Yeah.
That's what almost got them killed. Hammer's mother gets the
heard
gas face.
that story with love and shit. I saw all that shit, yeah.
They said, yo, if them niggas show up to the venue, they die. They had the whole place surrounded. They couldn't even go to their own party.
They had to get what's his name to be able to sit next to Michael Jackson in the Grammys. Like that shit happened. Like what's Michael
Exception.
Yeah, from the Crips and shit. They had to make that shit work.
Yeah, Michael Concepcion had a lot of respect, man. He talked to people, and he came to see Chuck chill out one day. I had on these sunglasses, man. Them shits cost like I don't even know if I should say this shit. He might still be out there. Them shits cost like $15. He's like, yo, I like them glasses, man. I was like, thanks, man. He's like, I give you $150 for them right now. I was like, here you go. He gave me $150. I walked out. I was like, yo, if he ever finds out that them
you're freezing up.
And I see him again. What you said?
Was he in a wheelchair? Was he in a wheelchair at that time too?
Yeah, he was in a wheelchair, but he had, his people around him. He had his, and when he talked, it was like he was like a gang godfather. He's like, hey, come here, man. I like them shits, man. How much you want for them? I was like, well, before I could tell him how much I paid for it, he said, I give you $150 right now. I said, hell yeah.
Yo, and what year was this? Like
this was when Chuck Chill Out and Flex was on BLS together. So it had to be about 89.
Oh, so if we're talking today's money, that's like he offered you like $600-700 for them shades.
Whoa, that shit was like $500.
Yeah,
you know how much shit I bought?
Yeah.
First, I went and bought another pair of glasses for $20. Oh shit! I mean, I told Chuck and him in the car. I said, "Yo, he bought them off me." Chuck said, "You know, the nigga gonna kill you if you ever see you again." He said, "You stupid, man. You stupid." He said, "I'm telling you, that's why I don't like you around people. You stupid." He used to always say that shit. He always talking to niggas. Now, I said, "Yo, he came to me. He asked me to buy the glasses."
I remember you told me the story that you used to chill with Bustin' all the time. He had no idea you rhymed, and all of a sudden he heard your joints. And like, yo,
the whole leaders of the new school. I used to sit at the table with niggas was freestyling, just nod my head at this place called the Supper Club. And Flex used to do that shit every Wednesday, and them niggas was there whether they was performing or not. They was they was in there getting girls and chilling in VIP and all that shit. And I used to be, carry the records for Flex so I could get in the spot for free, me and my man, And we used to be upstairs in VIP. I used to sit at the table and niggas be banging on it. They just start rhyming. Shit was dope. But I never said a rhyme around them. I just sit there like. And then when Buster saw me doing the 6 Million Ways to Die video, because he came, he was like, yo, you not Double M? I was like, yeah. He said, why you ain't never saying that? I was like, yo, I came up under Chuck. Like, we was taught, keep your fucking mouth closed until it's happening. Because you're going to look stupid if it don't work, Tell niggas, yo, I rap, I got a record coming out. Like, that's just not something we used to do coming up at that time. You didn't play yourself, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Actions speak louder than words and shit. Word. Like,
yeah, plus you made you feel like you sweating somebody. Like, yo, I rhyme. And they be like, oh, yeah, that's nice.
That's what I always thought about shit, too. That's like when you came over here that time and I was playing my beat. You did that shit? And I'm like, yeah, because I never tell you that shit because we always cool and shit.
Right, because you never know.
Yeah, like for real. Like,
if I tell nigga, yeah, I rhyme too, he said, oh, that's cool. You turn around, walk away, you be like, ah. That hurt. I was too fragile, like Complex said. I was a little shy then too. You ain't really want to put yourself out there in front of people like that until you had your shit going for yourself, because I knew it no matter how good you are, if you had a record out, people will look at you and listen to you a little different than if you just was, because everybody fucking had a rhyme. These people come from New York. You walk down the block and be like, yo, anybody rap? Let's do a cypher. You have 12 niggas in a circle in no time. Everybody spitting rhymes, whether they was whack or hot or whatever. You would have people, everybody had a rhyme, So it wasn't impressive to tell somebody that you knew how to rhyme and shit.
I remember the first time at Q-Tip crib, my man had to meet with Q-Tip, give him some beats, because he wanted Q-Tip to write for Houdini. And I brought my cousin with me. And my man introduced me to Tip, who's like, him and his cousin, they both rhyme. Next thing Q-Tip was like, Yeah, everybody could rhyme because they could put cat and hat together. What the fuck this nigga say? This nigga now. It was hard to hate, Tribe.
Right.
But deep down, I was like, fuck this nigga.
You never
You ever been in my
you
shoes before?
of course, like the lyrical dudes and shit. You know, they was just make good music and shit. You know what I'm saying? Like,
It didn't matter, Stress. You always look at things from the wrong angle. You look at if you nicer than somebody, they supposed to have this great respect for you. With a lot of these dudes, man, they got gold records and all that shit. They don't give a fuck if you can split a pea with your rhymes. You know, they don't give a. They look at you like, yeah, whatever, nigga. Like, they don't give a fuck. Especially back then, man. Dudes was like, you was more of a star back then when you was a star. I don't know if I could put it. Now you got social media. Niggas know your whole life. Yeah. They know where you live, know your business. Back then, you didn't know shit about these dudes. Like they had a mystique about them.
It was the mystery.
Yeah.
Like they had a mystique about them. Like I didn't find out Luther Vandross was gay till like fucking he was damn near on his 4th album. We ain't know his personal life. We ain't know his business like that. You know what I'm saying?
Shit. That's crazy. Yeah, now that you say it like that.
Signing out.
People kept their shit to themselves.
Peace, man.
Yeah, I think we already almost 4 hours.
Yeah, man, yo, it's good talking to you, brothers. This
Awesome,
no, hold on. I'm gonna end it, but chill for a second. Hold on, yo, we hit the fucking end of 9. Everybody, you know what I mean? Keep checking. We got, thanks to the brothers who came in here.
Mr. Complex 9 double M.
Yeah.
Mr. Ricochet.
Complex and Breezy.
Ricochet.
Yeah.
Now I'm just N-I-N-E. That's it now.
N-I-N-E.
N-I-N-E like B-I-G. Now